behind the quarterback. As quarterback behind his line, pretty good rusher is what I meant to say.
So Shelley, 3rd and 6. A little bit of a loss on that last carry. Lobos cramming the box with 8 guys. Well, 7 guys. They've got slot coverage on the each side of the line. Big rush to Shelley. He breaks a tackle across the 5 to the 10, the 15. He's got the first down and more. He's met at the 22, and he's going to be knocked down there, making the tackle for the Little Elm Lobos, Xavier Napoleon and also Charles Igioma, but not before Jason Shelley, can step off a run of 16 and a first down. Boy, they had him too, Jason, for a moment.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. When you put 7, 8 guys in the box and then you get him surrounded and you don't contain him and tackle him there, once he busts out of that box, all you got is 2 or 3 guys left in the second field of play there.
And on this play, Shelley keeps and tucks it under and has the 25, the 26 before he's brought down, a gain of about 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and about 7 coming.
And I meant the second level of play there. You got to just keep him contained, not just with your linebackers, but if it's going to be the quarterback versus the cornerback, it's going to be a long night for the Lobos defense.
Shelley under pressure, and now he's going to throw it away. I guess he got outside of the tackle box. I'll get the officials list here for you in just a moment.
Boy, he threw that out like in the track and field area, way out there like in lane 5. That was pretty good, pretty strong arm from where he threw it, but he was being pass rushed. I will say that the front 3 or 4 guys in the linebacking core, they are getting pressure on Shelley early in this game, and this kind of rattled him a little bit, I think, in this drive.
3rd and 6 coming for the Lobos here. Shelley in the gun, looking right, throws downfield long, got a man, caught at the 45 in stride, to the 50, to the 40, breaking a tackle, to the 30, angling across the field, to the 20, 10, touchdown. With that reception is Drayton Fuchsa, his first touchdown catch of the season at the 6:01 mark. So the Rangers, who started at their own 4, the Lobos put some pressure on them throughout a couple of times. They were hemmed in pretty well, but they got out of it with a big strike play there. That one goes for over 70 yards and a score.
That's a 6-play drive, goes 86 yards. Barely takes a minute and a half off the clock.
Jacob Click on to kick, and he boots it through. The extra point is good. It is now 14-0. Lone Star on top of Little Elm, 6:01 to play in the opening quarter here at Homecoming. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Little Elm Lobo football on Champion Sports Radio.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Merriquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
The kickoff by Jacob Glick bounces around on the ground, and Little Elm pounces on it. I think it may have been Kevin Terry who got on the loose ball, the guy who returned the last kick. Jacob Glick is either intentionally kicking them short or effectively kicking them short, Jason, as they're sailing up to the up man, Terry, and that one kind of went in no man's land and caught Little Elm off guard.
Yeah, but not just – it seemed like we've seen numerous kickoffs from Lobos and two Lobos and from Lobos that have just been those little pooch kind of kicks there. Lobos start from their own 23-yard line rather.
And it is Austin Carter, the starting quarterback. Elias De Leon, the freshman center. The guards, Scott Finnegan and Dylan Branson. As C.J. Seal goes in motion, Carter hemmed in, tries to tuck it under and run, and the line collapses there. They get penetration. Do the Rangers up front. Logan Jones, the nose tackle, and Kelvin Apare, the defensive tackle up there with him. The rest of the offensive set for Little Elm, Bobby Whitehead and Victor Budd. The tackles, Deshaun Gilbert. The split end, Josh Seal, one of the wide receivers. Armani Johnson, another one. Checking into the game now, Dion Williams was the starting tailback, but we're going to have Aaron Glenn Young checking in here at the moment for Dion Williams.
Barry, some other early scores already. The Colony is up in the first quarter over Frisco Independence 14-0, and Frisco Liberty is up over Frisco Wakeland 7-0. They are still scoreless between Frisco and Centennial, and all those are still in the first quarter.
5:14 to play. We'll take a quick break as the timeout is called. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Josh Seal takes the direct snap on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 14 and tries to get some room out to the right, but he cannot do it. He's going to be brought down for a loss of 2. And Little Elm quickly up to the line again. In the shotgun is Austin Carter. High snap, play action fake. He throws over the middle. Ball is tipped, incomplete, and pretty well covered there on the play too. Was the intended target? I think it was Deshaun Gilbert. It was, and it may have been for the Rangers, Dante Williams or Chris Miller that tipped that ball away and brings up 4th and long, and Deshaun Gilbert will have to kick it away. He got a great 63-yard punt a moment ago. We'll see what he can do again on this punt.
Well, Little Elm ends up about -6 yards on that drive after 3 and out, literally. Slim pickings for Little Elm offense so far tonight.
Gets an end-over-end kick again, but this one kind of sails out to the right. Kind of shanked it off his foot, it looked like there a little bit. 4:25 to play, and the Lone Star Rangers will take over with really good field position. We apologize for some of the technical problems we had here tonight in the pregame. We will get the pregame coaches' interviews with you here at half. We'll let you listen to both of those. They still are quite relevant in this contest tonight.
Well, Frisco, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Frisco Lone Star Rangers, they are taking care of ball as far as just ball control, time control, and they are just having a prolific passing game to dominate the Lobos thus far.
And around, and this one goes to Lone Star's Jalen Dixon on the faked it one way and then handed it back to him going right around the right side across the 45 to the 40, and inside the 40 to the 39-yard line he goes.
I say prolific pass offense. Of course, that's probably about their 3rd or 4th rush out of about 15, 16 total plays tonight.
Kickoff tonight was 90 degrees. It's about 88 now, or it was just about 90 in the pregame, I should say. It's about 88 now. Jason Shelley in the shotgun. Robert Hall with him. Shelley wings it out over the top, caught by Hall at the 40, going to the 35-30. He tumbles forward, does a flip there as he's upended by Charles Igioma, and also Dalen Ramirez helping out on the tackle there for the Lobos, but it is a first down for the Rangers. They move the sticks again. Shelley in the gun. Big rush coming from the left side. Shelley evades it, rolls out, now throws the ball's hit, and it may have been intercepted. It was caught before it hit the ground. Making a great pick there was Charles Igioma. What a play by the youngster.
Well, nice turnover, well-timed turnover, just to give this Little Elm Lobos home field stand, homecoming crowd a little bit of life. Because up until then, there really hasn't been much to cheer about for these Lobos fans. But to get that interception, number one, to stop a potential scoring drive from this Ranger offense, but to give your offense, for the Lobos, a chance to put together a drive and maybe score and get back into this thing.
Well, the Rangers, too, were kind of moving at will. They were really a precise set, a great offense there. Double stacked receivers to either side. One back set. Carter in the gun. Pressure from behind, and he's going to be sacked. And he got big-time pressure there from the backside, coming up from his linebacker spot to make the sack for the Frisco Lone Star Rangers was Dwayne Gilmore.
Well, I'm sure everybody talks about the Ranger offense because they're pretty quick and pretty flashy with their passing game. But apparently, if you look at the game thus far, their defense is not something to be laughed at either, because they have kept the Lobos from just moving backwards so far in the first quarter. 2nd
and 14. 3-3 formation there for the Lone Star Rangers, but they get pressure anyway, and breaking through the line was Logan Jones, the senior nose tackle, who breaks through and dumps Austin Carter for a loss of about 1. It will be 3rd and 15 now for the Lobos. Clock under 3 minutes here in the opening period, with Little Elm trailing Lone Star 14-0. And Coach Brown mentioned it in the pregame interview, which we'll get to hear here at halftime at the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show, how a lot of these Lone Star kids grew up in Little Elm, or they lived here before attending Lone Star. Carter in the gun, looks downfield, throws long left side, got a man, Gilbert, and he can't quite catch up to it. It was a really well-thrown ball, but just maybe beyond Gilbert's reach a little bit, and it will bring up 4th and long, and Gilbert will have to trot back down the field and punt it and see if he can get another good foot into it like he did a moment ago with a 63-yard punt.
Well, I wasn't quite for sure. I think it was Dante Williams, the cornerback for the Rangers. I felt like he might have gave was it C.J. Seal back there? Is that who that was going for that pass? Just a little.
Gilbert.
Gilbert, yeah. I felt like he may have given him a little bit of a shove or nudge in the back a little bit.
Yeah, may have. High snap and heavy pressure, and Gilbert does get it away. This one is going to be a high hanging kick that is going to take a great Little Elm bounce of about 15 yards inside the 50, keeps rolling inside the 40, all the way to the 41-yard line. And Deshaun Gilbert under heavy pressure, none the worse for wear, as he gets away a 47-yard punt. So he's had a 63-yard kick, a 47-yard punt, and even the one he shanked, I think, went nearly 30. So he has done a great job of punting tonight. Now Coach Kendrick Brown and the staff would just like to see him get really involved in the receiving area.
Absolutely, but you know what? That could be one of those plays later on in the game that you're thinking, you know what? He saved the Lobos from getting blown out in this game because of that punt, because that could have been a disastrous turnover and potential score right there in their own end zone punting.
Well, here's Lone Star's Jason Shelley, and he's evading tackles and running through the line across the 45, across the 50, close to the line to gain about another 9-yard gain. He's already had one of those tonight. He gets another one right there.
Well,
Second and one. Excuse me, Jason.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I think the Lobos really have to do something to continue to make plays happen with turnovers like they did in the last drive.
Shelley tucks it under again, coming near side this time. A flag flies. I'm not sure if it's going to be a face mask, maybe on Shelley, the quarterback. We'll get the meaning from the actually maybe a hold. Looks like the line judge is coming over there to talk to the head official. And by the way, tonight's officiating crew, the head referee is Rick Adams, the umpire Steve Claiborne, The head linesman's Tom Troutman, the line judge Jorge Juarez, and the back judge Craig Wilson. That's your list of officials tonight.
Well, that was the first flag of the half as compared to last week.
Yeah.
We saw. That's kind of unusual. I forgot what color the flag was. It's so far in the game. We're almost through the whole first quarter.
Shelley with time, screens it out over the top. It is caught. Robert Hall makes one guy miss, but can't evade the grasp of a couple of other Lobos. In on the tackle over there was Jacob Scroggins and Charles Igioma, who's already got a pick
Great
in
job
tonight's game.
Great job on the Lobos defense, sniffing out that screen. They did get the 5 yards back they lost in the penalty, but now second down.
Shelley in the gun, trips right. Has time, throws downfield long. Got a man, Kobe Shelton, and he makes a great catch, but it's out of bounds. That was a wonderful over-the-shoulder catch by the young receiver there, Kobe Shelton, who's one of the leading receivers on this team. He came into the game tonight having caught 15 for 264 yards and 5 touchdowns.
That was Dalen Ramirez on the coverage there. Just excellent coverage, raising both of his hands, trying to shield the defender from the offense receiver from seeing the ball. But just excellent coverage. Dalen was with the receiver for the Ranger receiver, just step by step.
Trips right. Little Elm trying to blitz. Shelley has time, throws downfield long, incomplete. No flags as the feet getting caught up was probably incidental contact. Kobe Shelton covered again by Dalen Ramirez, and a great stand for the Lobo D as they force Lone Star to a 3-and-out on this possession.
Well, that's 2 straight drives that the Lobos defense has answered the call. The last drive they got an interception for a turnover. This drive, they get about a 5-play drive and shut down the Ranger offense, and they're now punting.
And back to punt at his own 37, left-footed kick. And some guys better get out of the way. Wow, that came very close to maybe a grazing Little Elm Lobo, the punter, Connor O'Brien, for the Lone Star Rangers.
54 seconds left in the first quarter, and I'll tell you, I think the Lobos defense has really started to tighten the screws up a little bit on this Ranger offense and just making some things happen. Now, if the offense can get going for the Lobos and Austin Carter jump in there and maybe get some passes. Offensive line just really needs to hold their blocks a little bit longer to give Austin Carter a chance to either get a pass off or open some holes up in some running lanes for Austin Carter and, of course, the running back, Deshaun Glenn Young.
Carter in the shotgun, 1st and 10. He's pressured and flushed out to his right, tucks it under, crosses the 15, the 20, tries to spin away from a tackle. He's pulled down there just in front of the 20-yard line, and making the tackle for the Lone Star Rangers was Matthew Woodson, the defensive back. But Carter steps off enough for a first down. This is a great start for the Lobos on this possession. Going from our left to right here in the first quarter, in navy shirts, gold helmets, and white pants. Lone Star in cobalt blue pants, white jerseys, and blue helmets. Quick toss to the near side, caught by Josh Seal. He's got out to the 32-yard line. Tackle applied over there by Lone Star's Seth Hallett, the linebacker, but not before Seal gets about 7 on the toss. Maybe Little Elm will choose to run one more play. Maybe they will not. Trips are lining up to the left side. This would be the last play of the quarter if they snap it, and it looks like they will not. That's the end of the first quarter with Lone Star leading Little Elm 14-0. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for Team Middle Management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute, online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Deion Williams takes the ball and carries it through the middle for a gain of about 3, and we now have a player down, and it may be, it looks like a Lone Star Ranger who's down on the turf, and it looks like it's big Logan Jones, who's had an impressive game so far with a couple of tackles, one of those for a loss. Hopefully he'll get back up. We will take a quick break while they attend to him and come back in a moment. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Third and about 2, and Carter hands it off to Deion Williams, breaking tackles, still on his feet, across the 35 to the 40 goes Deion Williams, and that on a flag flies at the end of that play. We may have unsportsmanlike conduct on one of the teams as Williams stepped off about an 8-yard gain. It will be a first down. Now it's just a matter of whether this unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is assessed against Little Elm or if it's against Lone Star.
That would be unfortunate if it's against Little Elm. And I'll tell you, I thought that play was dead in the water. Austin Carter tries to fake a hands off and fakes a pass, and it looked like there was just a whole huge convergence of Ranger players. And boy, he made something out of nothing, I'll tell you. But it does go against the Lobos there, it looks like, Barry.
I'm not sure if that was on Deion Williams. Coming into the game for him now after that good carry was Aaron Johnson. But they're going to step this off 15 back the other way. Fortunately for the Lobos, they at least moved the sticks prior to that.
It looks to me like Elias De Leon, the center, the freshman center at that, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
He was the one that was talking to the umpire, and I felt like looked like he was trying to plead his case, saying, look, the Ranger defender was the one kind of pushing and shoving or doing whatever. So, but you always know what happens is somebody hits you, and who's the one that gets caught?
That's right.
The one who fights back.
That's right. So the Lobos now looking at 1st and 25 after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Austin Carter in the shotgun. Aaron Johnson back there with him. Carter rolls out left, throws near side. Too high for Armani Johnson. It goes incomplete. It will bring up 2nd and 25. 11:24 here to play before halftime. The Lobos trailing 14-0 here against the Lone Star Rangers. And Jason, we mentioned before the game that the Rangers had outscored opposition 87-7 in the opening frame, and now make it 101-7.
They really do get off to quick starts in their first quarter scoring, and they don't back off. They don't let off the gas pedal in the second quarter.
No, that's pretty strong too. It's 60-20 as they give to the tailback Aaron Johnson. He gets a little of it back, maybe about 6 or they must have gotten about 16 of it back because it's now 3rd and 9. Didn't look like he got that many yards through there. But all of a sudden, it is now 3rd and 9.
See if Lobos can get this home crowd stands fired up.
Oh, I see what happened too. They didn't call it 1st and 25. They changed it to 1st and 10. They just marked off the 15. Okay, he's got the first down here though on the toss on the near side to Armani Johnson, and that one's good out to the 38-yard line. A gain of about 8, and it's enough for a first down as the 157-pound junior wideout pulls it in and helps the Lobos move the sticks. 1st and 10 at their own 39. Carter in the gun. Fakes the outside toss, hands it off to the tailback, Aaron Johnson. And now some of the partisan crowd wanting something tossed at the direction of the opponent. And by the way, Logan Jones had to come out a while ago, and in his place, well, a guy we don't show on the roster. Well, excuse me, I beg your pardon, Victor Terry. Carter. Quick toss to Armani Johnson, breaking a tackle to the 50, down the sideline to the 40, 30, and lassoed around the neck at about the 27 and pulled out of bounds by Lone Star's Kenneth Warner, who makes a touchdown-saving tackle out there on the outside, but not before Armani Johnson can step off a gain of 32 yards.
Well, the Lobos have had the ball for nearly really close to 2 minutes, or maybe a minute in this half, or in this drive, and they're moving the ball pretty nicely right now.
They give to Deion Williams, who's back in there at tailback, and he tries to break a tackle. He's brought down by the tandem crew of Noah Valiser and Seth Hallett, the rover / linebacker, who team up to drag him down after a short 1-yard gain. Little Elm would like to say thanks to our sponsors tonight, including ShockboxDFW.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. And Little Elm on the move here, 2nd and 9 at the Lone Star 26. Carter pump fakes, now throwing it long. He's got Armani Johnson again. He can't quite catch up to it. It's overthrown on the near sideline. He was defended over there by Matthew Woodson. He'd given Woodson a little shake and bake move and broken free, but he was just not quite able to catch up with that pass. Would have been 1st and goal had he done so. Instead, it is 3rd and 9.
This is the 11th play of the drive for the Lobos. They really have something going together here. It is 3rd down. Love to see them get a first down and keep this drive alive or maybe score.
Carter in the gun. 3-step drop, rolls out right, looking for a safety valve, throws far side, caught at the 18. Maybe a first down if he hung on to it, but he does not. That was intended for the wideout Josh Seal, and it brings up 4th and 9, and this is kind of no man's land for Little Elm. It's kind of 4-down territory here, as it may be just past the range of Kyle Wagner's leg.
Well, more than likely you are going to see another play, and you know what, Lobos have been able to show some success in executing 8 or 9 yard plays for first downs on this drive alone.
Carter in the gun, 4th and 9. Carter steps up, pressured, makes one guy miss, but cannot make a second one miss, and making a tackle on the quarterback over there for the Lone Star Rangers was Nick Bolton, the linebacker, the Mike linebacker, and after a gain of about 6, and Little Elm turns it over on downs.
Well, to catch you up on some scores here, Barry, the Colony's up now in the second quarter, 28-0 over Frisco Independence. Frisco Lone Stars up 14-0, obviously, here at Little Elm. Frisco Centennial up 3-0 now over Frisco High School. Frisco Wakeland, they are down to Frisco Liberty 14-0.
Thank you, Jason, for those scores as Lone Stars' Jason Shelley gives it on the end-around reverse. The flag flies coming near side across the 30 to the 32 was the ball carrier Jalen Dixon, who's ran that play a couple of times. We'll see the meaning of the flag from our head referee here. It's going to be a block in the back against Lone Star, and that will back them up 10. A spot foul here on that call. Rick Adams, our head referee, our umpire against Steve Claiborne, the head linesman Tom Troutman, Jorge Juarez, the line judge, and Craig Wilson, the back judge. And this one's going to back up Lone Star some 10 yards back to the 14-yard line.
Barry, even though Lone Star has shot themselves in the foot here a couple of times, I'm really pretty pleased and excited to see this Lobos defense start to shut things down a little bit.
Shelley, who had 80 yards rushing last week, hemmed in, tries to dance around in the backfield and tucks it under, and he's going to be pulled down, though, as he crosses the 15 and making the tackle over there. Corbin Hunt, the 218-pound senior linebacker. 2nd and 16 now. 4-yard gain for Jason Shelley for the Rangers, leading here in this game 14-0. Shelley in the gun with, now he's pressured. Spins out of some threat like Tony Romo. Throws it to the far side. Intended over there on the far sideline for his target, Connor O'Brien. I believe that was Robert Hall, the tailback, had sneaked out of the backfield. That was intended for him, but he just overthrew him. But this Jason Shelley, doesn't he kind of evoke feelings of Romo back there, the way he spins out of a threat?
Absolutely he does, and I think he's one of the reasons why they can keep a prolific passing game going.
Pressure, big pressure. He spins out of it again. Pressured again. They may have him, and Shelley just wings it. And if that's not grounding, he has to be in the tackle box, I would think. Head referee Rick Adams doesn't call grounding, and the coaches in the coaching box wanted an egregious grounding penalty called. They don't get it, though, but they do force 4th and long, about 16 coming. We may have had some kind of flag here. The line judge and Rick Adams are discussing things.
Yeah, if it wasn't intentional grounding, it was really close. I mean, for sure he stayed within the hash marks. And if the ball's in the center field within the hash marks, that tackle box isn't much narrower than the hash marks.
Little Elm would like to say thanks to the following tonight: the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. Visit gdyo.org for more information as Connor O'Brien gets set to tee it up, but flag flies for delay of game before he can even get this underway. Little Elm Lobo Football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, on Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at BPropes30.
Hey.
And
sorry.
And .740 to play as this punt goes right to the left side. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Lobos now as the punt goes out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. There was a delay of game penalty called on Lone Star. Nothing else, though, so it backed up Connor O'Brien. So this is great plus territory, Jason, to start out for the Lobos.
I'll tell you, the first 2 drives were just incredible for the Rangers. The last 3 and outs or turnovers.
Dion Williams takes the handoff and drags tacklers with him up the middle. He had 3 or 4 guys hanging on to him for dear life. Kelvin Apari, Noah Valiser, and Seth Howlett all being dragged down the field for about a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 coming. This one spotted at the Lone Star Ranger 29-yard line. Clock nearing 7 minutes. Little Elm got down here a minute ago, but then couldn't go any further. A flag flies as the handoff comes to Dion Williams. Might have a hold on there in the interior of the line. If it is a hold, they're not getting their money's worth because Dion Williams was tackled right away. The protection broke down very quickly.
Yeah, it did, and I would say that's probably where the things need to be addressed at halftime is just getting this offensive line to get a little bit more in sync and holding their blocks a little bit longer and giving the running game, as I said earlier, some running lanes and Austin Carter to just a chance to step back and throw. And when he's had time, he's been successful in this game thus far. Offense really for the Lobos needs to execute a good drive here because the defense is certainly starting to do their job and settling down nicely in this second quarter.
Head official Rick Adams signals holding on Little Elm, so it's going to be second and 16. Carter under pressure, looking to throws toward the far sideline, and it's incomplete. It was a good effort made over there by the wideout target Josh Seal, but he's unable to come up with it, and it brings up 3rd and 16 now. So Little Elm has threatened. Coach Kendrick Brown has got to be ecstatic about that, but they just can't quite keep the momentum going, Jason. It's been an issue with this team all year.
Yeah, that's true, but at least now in their last 3 drives, you're not seeing them move backwards. Their first 2 drives, they only ran about 7 plays, and they had a net yardage total of like -7 yards, and then now suddenly they're getting some positive momentum going.
Marquise Jones comes in as a slot receiver. Carter under pressure. Wings it out, caught by Deshaun Gilbert, trying to break a tackle, but the defensive back over there, Farron Smith, holds him up for help, and he gets the help he needs to pull him down after a gain of about 4 or 5. It's going to be 4th and 12, and if they punt it, they could pin Lone Star back again, but they're kind of in that territory that's too far for a field goal and not much gained with a punt that would go in the end zone.
Well, and especially with your offense or defense really starting to shut down the Ranger offense, it'd probably be advantageous to go ahead and go for it on 4th here.
So they're going for it. 4th and 12. Carter throws. It's caught, but just short of the line to gain. The receiver over there, Armani Johnson, catches it and tries to lean forward across the 25-yard line, but he was short of the line to gain about 2 yards. It's like he almost got tripped up on his own feet there, Jason, and couldn't quite stretch it out.
Yeah, he had a little bit of resistance, and defender for the Rangers sitting there ready to take him on. But if he just had another yard or 2 to stretch out there, that would have been a nice first down to convert. But here comes the Ranger offense again, and I'm sure they're looking to get back on track because they've had 3 drives that had an interception, a punt, and another punt. And sure they're ready to see this Lobos defense buckle under this pressure.
Jason Shelley in the pistol formation this time with a fullback and tailback. And they give to the fullback straight over left tackle and racing up the middle on the left side of the line over there is the tailback Robert Hall. Good for a gain of about 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and short. 1 back set this time. 4 wides. Ball on the left hash. And they get to Robert Hall again over left tackle, and he's got running room across the 35 to the 40, a gain of 6 and a first down for the Rangers. The Lone Star Rangers unbeaten this year at 4-0, and they brought a sizable contingent of fans over there on the far side. Not a far trip, nonetheless. Oh, what a hit by the defensive back to Drayton Fuchsa on 1st and 10 for Lone Star, as Fuchsa was the intended target, and it was timed perfectly by Jalen Ramirez, who sized him up and blasted him out there in the deep flat.
Yeah, Ramirez, boy, he's having a big game. He's had 2 good coverages and just a really well-timed hit there on that pass play by the Rangers.
Man goes in motion, and they give it to him on the speed sweep. Coming around the edge, it's once again Jalen Dixon. He's bottled up. A flag flies in the backfield. Robert Hall's helmet comes off. We'll have to see what head official Rick Adams signals here. I think this is going to be on Lone Star, and I think they would go ahead and take it since they only lost about a yard on that play. I tell you what, the penalties Lone Star has made have been helpful to the Lobo defense tonight, Jason. They've gone ahead and pushed them back and goaded them into a throwing down, and it's paid off here the last 3 series.
Well, I want to emphasize that, yes, the Ranger offense has self-imploded on some key points here, but do not let that take away from the incredible intensity that suddenly the Lobos defense has suddenly found, because I think they're doing their due diligence to shut down this offense that's just been incredible. Was just incredible the first 2 drives.
Shelley fakes the handoff, spins out of a tackle at the 30, spins out of another all the way up to the 40-yard line, so he gets a lot of the penalty yardage back Nifty moves there by Jason Shelley, the quarterback. We told you he had 80 yards rushing on 17 carries last week, and he's already up around 40 yards rushing tonight.
What that does, though, is it makes it 3rd down and 10, and that gives us Lobos defense just a chance to kind of put their ears back, and get ready to come after this quarterback if they want.
2 DBs playing safe. Ball is on the turf, and Little Elm may have recovered this. Jason Shelley lost the snap. Little Elm signaling they have it. Jacob Scroggins says they do, and the official says they do. And coming up with the ball was Jonathan Porter on the takeaway.
I guarantee you the Frisco Ranger fans are over there just wondering, Frisco Lone Star Rangers, they're just wondering and scratching their heads, because I'm sure after the first 2 drives they said, man, this is going to be just a laugher. But suddenly, as I said, the defense for the Lobos has come up with 2 incredible and I think impressive turnovers, and then a couple of 3 and 4 play drives in shutting down this Ranger offense. And man, the incredible field position once again. They are now at the 38-yard line. Last drive they started at the 33-yard line.
Well, we told you the score by quarters for Lone Star had been 60-20, and so far it's a push here in the second frame as Carter goes deep. Got a man down the middle, but he overshoots him there. That was intended for Deshaun Gilbert, who goes ahead and shags the ball while he's down there. Conversely, Little Elm on the score by quarters, well, not up to date, but it had been 20-3 through a couple of games. They had been outscored, and they scored us in a game since then with an opponent, so not much more than that. They've been outscored by a little bit, but not substantially. Carter in the gun. Pump fakes, now goes downfield long. He's got a man. It's incomplete. And the defender over there on the far side and the receiver, Deshaun Gilbert, kind of melded as one over there on the sideline there, Kenneth Warner.
Well, it's getting ready to be 3rd down and 10, and those first 2 plays, Austin Carter's obviously going for the home run ball there, and boy, he's just either overthrowing them or first play on that drive that he overthrew his receiver. That second play, he had it at the he hit his spot, only unfortunately he should have thrown it over the receiver's outside shoulder as opposed to his inside shoulder, and he's lucky that ball didn't get intercepted.
2 receivers split to either side. Carter rolls out left, looks to throw, squares up, throws, incomplete. And Armani Johnson, C.J. Seal, the intended target, was walloped from behind by the defensive back over there, Kenneth Warner. So it brings up 4th and long, and I think Little Elm will choose to punt it away this time from about their 38.
Well, I want to give a shout-out to that offensive line that time. I've kind of been picking on them a little bit, and that particular play, the offensive line led by Christian Hernandez, Reese Corey. I'm sorry, that's the Ranger offense, but Elias De Leon and Dylan Branson, incredible pass coverage on that play for Austin Carter.
Yeah, big Bobby Whitehead. Oh, maybe they're going to fake. 2 receivers, 2 gunners split out to either side. Now we're going to get a whistle and a timeout called by Lone Star. We'll take a timeout with them. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Need concrete? Call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Welcome back to the Little Elm Athletic Complex. 4:30 to play before halftime. Stay with us here at half for the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show. One of the proud new sponsors tonight of Little Elm Lobo football. And the Lobos, after that timeout, are regrouped and they are going to punt after all. Deshaun Gilbert standing back at his 50. Nobody back to receive for Lone Star. Big rush. Flags fly. Gilbert gets the punt away. It takes a great Lobo bounce as it kicks out of bounds inside the 15 at about the 11. A punt of 27 yards and well placed. The flag is on the Lobo side of the field. I mean the Lobo side of the line, as if it would be an illegal formation penalty against them.
I wonder if Jeff Rayburn, the head coach for the Rangers, he wants them to punt that again to see if he can get better field position with 4:21 left. Because right now, if he declines it, the ball's on the 11-yard line. I wonder if he makes him punt again.
It is an illegal formation penalty
And
signaled by Rick Adams, and so Deshaun Gilbert will have to punt this one away. Gilbert has been under pressure and done a great job of getting kicks away, either very well placed or with a great deal of distance.
I'm going to say, and I think we need to think about that, if you were to start picking a player of a game, I think the cornerback for Dalen Ramirez, he's had a really good game so far, but you're absolutely right. Deshaun Gilbert, his punting, I think, has really kept the Rangers in check.
Yeah, it has dictated field position. He's under pressure again, gets it away. It's going to take another Lobo bounce.
Wow.
And they decide to just catch it in the air and not give Kenneth Warner any chance to return it. It's going to be killed at the 7. So Jeff Rayburn, that didn't work as well. Although there is another flag.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, Coach Rayburn, that one didn't. That one kind of backfired on you there, didn't it? But you may get another chance to make him kick yet again.
Oh, no. Well, that would be unfortunate because that would have been a net minus 5 yards there.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, if he made him kick again at 11 on the 11-yard line, you certainly know he's going to make him kick again on the 8 or 7-yard line.
And maybe Gilbert could kick it 48 yards to about the 5 this time.
And, both times on that last 2 punts, you're right. Every punt he's been under pressure, and I really think he has saved the Lobos defense a lot of heartache because he's put the Rangers in horrible field position with his punting, man. He's really stepping up.
And the Lobo defense has done their part with a couple of takeaways tonight.
They sure have. I mean, they've obviously executed, and again, it was after the first 2 drives. It just wasn't looking like it was going to be very easy, but that is going to be a false start on the Lobos. Barry.
Well, I think it's actually illegal formation.
Oh.
I think they're not lining up with 7 on the line, and I think between breaking out for a fake punt pass play, the receivers aren't. They're trying to double bunch, and so I don't think they're getting enough on the line like they have to. And you can see here now the coaches have said you got to get up on the line, and so they're all getting up to the line this time.
Well, this punt has taken about a minute off the clock.
Yeah. 4-13, low snap, big pressure again, but Gilbert gets it away again. It takes another Lobo bounce, and this one goes to the 11, maybe the 10. It's going to be killed officially at the 11.
Look at that.
So that's going to be a 37-yard punt, no return. So after 3 punts there, Deshaun Gilbert gets some punting practice, and it's kind of a wash. It ends up being where it would have been after the first punt.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It ends up right where it was. But when you heard me gasp there a little bit, the only thing that stopped that ball was it hit the back of a Lobos defender running down the field, and it had that dying effect to it that if the defender would have not been in the way of the ball, I think that could have been way deep inside the 5-yard line for sure.
So the Rangers take over at the 11-yard line. 4:03 to play before half, and they're leading Little Elm 14-0. They give to Robert Hall, the tailback, and he tries to burst forward for a couple of yards, maybe 3 to the 14-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. And speaking of the Rangers, Jason, in baseball,
please tell me good news.
Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros tonight. They swept the Astros about a week and a half ago in a 4-game set, but now they have pinched that magic number down from 14 to 7. Cut it in half over 2 series where they went their separate ways, and a win tonight by the Rangers would cut it down to 5 as Shelley takes it around the left end. Keeps, has the 20, the 23-yard line. He's got the 24. Enough for the first down, and he moves the sticks. 3:32 left before half. The clock stops momentarily. Shelley gives to Hall up the middle. Hall fights forward. Just tries to lower his shoulder and churn his legs forward for a gain of about 3.5 to 4. Clock methodically moving here, and Little Elm doesn't want him to get too comfortable. moving it up the field and get in either field goal range or even closer. Shelley in the gun with time now. He is pressured. He gets out of that sack attempt on the side. He's now pressured from behind, tucks it under, running to the near side, has to make a backwards arc just a little bit. He had crossed the 35 to the 36, and then he had to retreat just a little bit as about 4 Navy shirts came chasing after him. He does get the line to gain for the first down. He got about 6 yards on that carry. So he moves the sticks, and it's 1st and 10 with 2:53. The clock stopped as he went out of bounds. Shelley under pressure, gonna maybe be sacked this time. He is. They hold him up. One of the first guys through, not Jonathan Porter, but rather Travis Scott, the other linebacker, held him up, and Jonathan Porter finished him off.
I'll tell you, that's first sack for the Rangers that they've given up in this game so far.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that Jason Shelley, you get him down, and that I don't know how many times he's been sacked this year, because I guarantee you he's been hurried an awful lot, but that's pretty impressive to get a sack on him.
Shelley in the gun, being pressured. He throws it over the top, caught by Robert Hall, but waiting for him immediately is Charles Igioma to knock him down. Igioma with a great sure tackle out there by the 206-pound senior linebacker, and the gain is only good for about 3 yards. They had lost 10 on the previous play on the sack by Porter and Scott, and this brings up 3rd and 16 now.
That's the second time in this game that I can think of. They may have tried to sneak another one that I don't remember in, but the Rangers have tried to put on a screen play there. And the second time that the Lobos defense has sniffed that out. And I'll tell you what, I think Kendrick Brown has got to be excited and ecstatic that if he can keep this score 14-0 and maybe even have a chance to score getting the ball again in the first half. And I know there's still 2 minutes left, but boy, I'll tell you, the way the first half looked, and just with, at 6:01 in the first quarter, Lobos were down 14-0, and it just wasn't looking very good for this defense and homecoming crowd and the offense. Boy, I'm sure people were hanging their heads at that moment.
Little Elm would like to say thank you to Steve and Barb Hill at Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design online at pointoforigindesign.com. That's pointoforigindesign.com. Shelley under pressure again. Evades one sack. Fires downfield long. Incomplete. He had a man on a deep go route over there. That was Jalen Dixon. And as you can hear some of the banging on the glass, they're excited next door about that incomplete pass and defensive stand. A third one here for the Lobos tonight here in the first half alone. 2:01 to play.
The Rangers have had a total of 7 drives. The first 2 resulted in touchdowns. Then you have interception, punt, fumble, punt.
Connor O'Brien back at his 16 to punt it away. Token pressure applied on the edge by Travis Scott. The punt, no fair catch signal for by Marquise Jones.
That's guts.
He takes it and tries to move forward for a few yards. But he had a host of Lone Star Rangers, including Darren Smith, Chris Miller, and Caleb Moore waiting for him. And those guys bring him down after about a 2-yard punt return to the Little Elm 40-yard line. Little Elm hasn't had bad field position all night, and they conversely have saddled Lone Star with a lot of it. Carter in the eye with one back behind him. Fakes the handoff, throws incomplete toward the far side, intended for Josh Seal. Probably just as well he short-hopped it because Seal had a guy bearing down on him, and it was going to be little, if any, gain had he caught it.
Well, I want to comment on that punt return again because even though he was under a lot of pressure, punt returner for the Lobos, he catches that right at the 40-yard line. If he lets that go, there's no telling if it goes back to the 30 or 20. He gives his offense a chance to have good field position.
Carter gives to Deion Williams, the tailback. Not much room there for him to worm through that time. Only a gain of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9 after the first play was an incomplete pass and that 1-yard carry by Deion Williams. Williams has had a decent night tonight. He's had quite a few carries for positive yardage. Pretty good yardage.
Austin Carter looking in, and everybody, all the offensive hands players, skill position players looking at their arm bands for their play.
Split to the near side is C.J. Seal. In the slot, Armani Johnson. Joined out there on the wide side by Deshaun Gilbert and Josh Seal. Long snap count, and now a timeout called by Little Elm. 1:02 to play. Little Elm trailing 14-0. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Third and about 9 as Carter under pressure, and he's going to be tripped up in the backfield there and racing in to make the sack as protection broke down was Lone Star's, I don't look like Kobe Shelton, but that can't be right. No, I take that back. It is Jake Ray, the defensive lineman.
Well, I'll tell you, it just seems like suddenly, I shouldn't say suddenly, outside of the first 4 minutes of this game, where it looked like that the Ranger offense was just going to just destroy the Lobos' homecoming celebration, it has suddenly become just two defenses slugging it out, and one defensive stand after another. And I just was not anticipating that. If you were looking at the first 4 minutes of this game, I wouldn't expect this defensive stand to suddenly appear. And this game is just flying by, too. I told you a second ago, this game is barely an hour and 10 minutes long.
4th and 14 as it is for the Lobos. At their own 36-yard line, they lose 4 yards on that possession. Starting out at their own 40, Deshaun Gilbert back to punt it away, gets it away between defenders racing in. This one takes a little bit of a Lobo bounce. It bounced straight up. Looked like it might go backwards, and then it rolled about 8 more yards for the Lobos, all the way to the 31-yard line of Lone Star. So Deshaun Gilbert manages to get a 33-yard punt out of it and no return, which is really good news with 37 seconds left to play.
I cannot emphasize how valuable Deshaun Gilbert's punts have been tonight. I mean, he's been under pressure every time, and I'll tell you, even right there, I thought he was getting ready to get it blocked, and he has gotten it off just at the nick of time. And there you saw what looked like was going to be just kind of a dead ball around the 35 to 40-yard line for the Lobos or the Rangers, and man, that sucker falls back, and now they're at their own 31-yard line.
Jason Shelley in the shotgun, and looks like guys moved early, and they did. There's the flag. It looked like at least 2 guys moved early. I thought one guy moved as they were getting set up and then were set, and then another guy moved before the snap occurred. It's going to be an illegal procedure penalty and back them up 5 yards and be 1st and 15. Little Elm would also like to say thank you to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a whirlybug, and they have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you in Plano and Hearst. As Shelley's in the gun with pressure, spins out of a potential sack there, now coming near side of the 20, throws downfield, incomplete, and he was awfully close to the line of scrimmage when he threw it. He may have been past it, but no flag flew for that there. The line judge Jorge Juarez looking at it fairly closely, we think.
Give props to the Lobos defense, but Barry, don't you think that with the precision of the first two drives of this Ranger offense, something has just kind of gone helter-skelter for them. They've shot themselves in the foot or have had given up plays or just broken plays or something along those lines, don't you think?
It looks like it. 2nd and 15. Shelley in the gun. Tucks it under, coming near side to the 27, 30, 32-yard line. Goes Shelley back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and about 10 after he gets a 5-yard gain on that keeper. 19 seconds to play before actually they give him a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and 9 at the 32. And 19 seconds to play here before halftime. Stick around with us for the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show with Jason and me. We'll get you up to date on other games around the area and the totals from this one so far. As Shelley's under pressure, evades it, rolls out right, tucks it under, has the 25 and the 30, and he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 32, and it will be 4th and 9. Maybe he lost a half yard there, actually, back to the 31. It'll be 4th and 10 now, and they're sending the punting unit on for what it's worth with 10 seconds left.
And just to emphasize again, I mean, the Ranger offense they've had some broken plays. They've had some penalties that have gone against them. But, boy, the Lobos defense has just stood their ground and not let the Rangers get out of their mess in any means necessary.
O'Brien back to punt with no rush, gets his left foot into it. It's going to be caught a fumble there by Marquise Jones. He did not – well, there's flags down, and he may have been interfered with. He didn't call for the fair catch, and it looked like he was close to getting bumped. Nonetheless, Little Elm appears to have recovered it with 1 second left. We'll get the meaning of this flag. No flags flew for a while, Jason, but then more and more it's looked a lot like last week.
I'll tell you, Jalen Dixon back there, the special teams, I think, is what's sticking out to me. Jalen Dixon earlier catches a punt that could have bounced at the 40-yard line back to the 20-yard line.
You mean Marquise Jones?
Marquise Jones, I'm sorry. But at the same time, you look at Deshaun Gilbert, and their special teams has really stepped up, and I think they have made the difference in keeping, whether it's the offense or the defense, in good position to make some plays. Just time now to see somehow after this, when they come out in the second half, for the offense to somehow get some scores on the board against a very good Lone Star Ranger football team.
Well, no signal from head referee Rick Adams, but the back judge walks it off 15. I did not see Rick Adams give a signal at all, but ostensibly it's pass interference, interference with the punt returner.
1 second left.
And, 1 second left, and it just does move the ball barely into Ranger territory. Carter would have to throw a Hail Mary here as far as he can with a second left. And he's just going to take a knee. So they will take a knee and head to the locker room. Our score at half is Lone Star 14, Little Elm nothing. It is homecoming here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex for the Lobos tonight. Back in a moment with the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show. You're listening to Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Shell experts here with a pitching machine and a shield to demonstrate the importance of protecting your engine.
Think of me as an engine. The Shield is new Shell gasoline with 20% more nitrogen and rich cleaning agents than before.
And the baseballs are gunk that attack intake valves and fuel injectors.
Come on, gunk, is that all you got?
Gunk is out of here!
New Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. No other gasoline protects your engine better.
For quality auto service and repair, see the folks at Flat Shell on Preston Road at I-635.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Welcome to the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex. Barry Probst and Jason Ewing with you here at half, where Lone Star leads Little Elm at half by a count of 14-0. It's homecoming here, and the Lone Star Band entertains a really good-sized band and a really good production they've got here to start it off, Jason, tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little distracted here trying to give statistics here or something, because it looks like a pretty impressive program up here. Wow. I guess this would be a good time to do some stats now, don't you think? It is
right
a
ahead.
score of 14-0. Obviously, the Rangers are up over Little Elm, and as we discussed earlier, if you're just joining us, it did look like it was going to run away from the Lobos real early in the first quarter. Total of 8 drives for the Lone Star Rangers, and the first two, within the first 4 minutes of the game, they were up 14-0. But then they followed those next 6 drives with an interception, a punt, a fumble, and another punt, and another punt. Unfortunately for the Little Elm, they have had at least also 8 drives, but every single one has either been actually 6 of them have ended in punts, and 2 of them have had a turnover on downs. As far as the stats are concerned, Frisco Lone Star does favor offensively quite a bit over Little Elm. They have a total of 241 yards versus Little Elm's 86 yards. For Lone Star, it's 11 first downs. Their rushing has been 19 rushing attempts over 103 yards. That's an average rush of 5.4 yards, so they're pretty productive on their rushing game. Their passing game, which looked like, again, just at the first 2 drives of the game, it looked like they were going to end up with 300 or 400 yards of pass offense. Actually, that's calmed down quite a bit. They've had 20 pass attempts and only have completed 9 of them. That's a pretty good completion percentage. It's 45% with 1 interception, but for a total of 138 yards, and most of those having to be done in the first 2 drives. As far as those 138 drives, they've had to punt 4 times and 121 total yards in punts. And I'm going to be excited to share with you Deshaun Gilbert's punt total here in a second. A punt average of 30.3 for Lone Star. They've had 2 fumbles. They've lost 2 fumbles. And I don't know if that's accurate, because I have actually 2 turnovers, 1 an interception and a fumble. They did have a fumble earlier in the game, but they did gain it. That ended up being a touchdown for the Rangers. They've been also Frisco Lone Star has also been penalized a total of 6 times for 50 yards. For your Little Elm Lobos, they are still a little anemic on the offensive side. Hopefully they can change that in the second half. A total of, as I said earlier, 86 yards, 6 first downs. They have a total of 19 rushes for 27 yards, so that's kind of a little anemic as well. That's an average of 1.4 yards, and I know that Kendrick Brown really wants to see that stat improve in the second half. There has been some passing for the Lobos, 6 of 16 for Austin Carter for a total of 59 yards. So again, under 100 yards of offense in the first half, and I know that that's got to just improve in the second half if they have any chance to get back in this football game, being down only 14-0. Now, we talked about Deshaun Gilbert having an incredible punting game so far. Excuse me. He has had 5 punts for a total of 207 yards, Barry.
Wow.
And that is
40 a kick.
Yeah, that's
41
yards a kick. And you say, oh, well, I don't know that that's very impressive. In high school, folks, that's impressive. When you see 41 yards an average. The thing is what's also equally impressive is Little Elm, even though they've had 8 drives, they have not turned over the ball. And so they're really taking care of the ball. They are also doing things defensively that needs to be happening. For individually, stat-wise, Shelley for Lone Star, he is 9 of 20 for 138 yards with 1 TD and 1 interception. Also, he leads the rushing attack for Lone Star rushing, 11 rush attempts for 58 yards. For Little Elm, Austin Carter is 6 of 16 for 59 yards and leading the way. Rushing for Little Elm, Deshaun Williams, 9 rushing attempts for 28 yards. And I hope I said that name right. Deshaun, did I say that right? I always mess up names pretty bad there.
Dion Williams.
Dion Williams. I'm sorry, Dion. I apologize about that. Some scores around the league. Do you want to go over those, or you want to just take a break, or just keep trucking on?
Let's take a break, and we'll come back.
I want to watch the halftime show.
And we'll come back and do the coaches' interviews that we missed during the Whirly Ball pregame show. But we'll take a quick break and come back in just a moment and get you caught up on those coaches' interviews with both Coach Rayburn of Lone Star and Coach Kendrick Brown of Little Elm. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores. 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they are happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you, Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Welcome back to the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show. I'm Barry Probst, joined by Jason Ewing. Well, we got to catch up with the coaches before the game, and we got to speak with both Kendrick Brown and head coach Jeff Rayburn of the Lone Star Rangers. And here is what Kendrick Brown had to say before the game started.
Down here on the field with Coach Kendrick Brown of Little Elm. And Coach, while you haven't gotten that first win yet, you are inching closer and closer. Each game seems to get better. Each effort seems to be better, and each event seems to be closer.
I appreciate that.
It's true.
I appreciate you saying that. Well, here's the deal. You know, a lot of times you got to sit back and just be honest. You're kind of getting going with your program. Our sub-varsities have been doing really well. We're proud there. Here on our varsity level is where we're trying to, get that success. Last week I thought was a little bit of a letdown. I thought we should have played much better last week, so I was a little disappointed there. Tonight we're playing an undefeated Lone Star team, so we'll see how we play. Now, I think, again, we come out. Offensively, it's very important for us to have success early. I think we've got to have success early. I think we get that success early. I think you're going to see some good things out the Lobos tonight.
Well, it's homecoming, and like you say, you've got unbeaten Lone Star and a pretty salty team so far, 4-0, coming in here, and they've really gotten out of the gate, conversely, with their opponents early on in the first half.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We got to weather that storm early. I think that's the key. The other thing with the Lone Star and Little Elm, most of the kids that are Lone Star kids live in the city of Little Elm, so these kids know each other, so it's kind of like they practice against each other quite a bit. So the edge of them being 4-0, we'll see how much that is, of course, when the game gets started. But they got a good quarterback, and and I think he helps make their ship go real well.
Well, Coach Brown, we chalked you up as a soothsayer last week. You said before the game you wanted to get Deshaun Gilbert involved, and he had some really amazing, electrifying plays there, especially near the end that helped set up the touchdown.
Well, we got to do more getting the ball. I think that's evident. We want to get him the ball early and often because we feel like he can do that. He's a junior, so we're going to do that early and often, try to get him the ball a little more often. And that goes with a few other playmakers. We're going to try to get the ball out quickly. The thing that's our biggest deal is trying to get out of those sacks and those negative plays. If we can get out of negative plays, we'll have some success offensively.
Did you think Austin Carter did a better job last week of realizing the pressure and then throwing it away? We kind of perceived that from the press box, but we don't have the same trained eye that you do.
It was better, you know, and here's the deal too. We're realizing too that was his 4th game starting as a quarterback, right. So he's still learning some valuable lessons there as a quarterback, but he's getting better. You know, he runs the ball good, he throws the ball well. The thing that he, of course, over the first part of the season is being in that pressure situation and knowing when to get the football away and throw it out of bounds and not give up the sack. But it was better. It was much better on last week. So looking to improve there. That's important. And then again, our offensive line, we've got to pass protect much better.
Coach Brown, I told you last week, one of these days we're going to have a kickoff where it's under 90 degrees, and you're in the shade, but wouldn't you know, it's 90 degrees here.
It is. But that's Texas high school football.
That's true.
That's Texas high school football. We may be talking next week, and it may be freezing. You never know. So, but
you'd welcome it.
I know. But either way, it's just good football atmosphere. It's homecoming. It's a great atmosphere tonight, and looking for the Lobos to come out on top tonight.
Coach Brown, thanks for the time, and as always, good luck this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is Coach Kendrick Brown of the Little Elm Lobos down here on the field.
And after that, we also got to catch up with head coach Jeff Rayburn of the Lone Star Rangers.
Barry Probst down here on the field with Coach Jeff Rayburn of the Lone Star Rangers. And Coach, you're off to a white-hot start so far this year, 4-0, and you have just put the pedal down on teams in the first half. You got a great set of weapons at your receiver and skills positions, but what do you attribute it to specifically maybe?
I think we've got great kids, number one, and our kids just really bought into our system. They do a great job of preparing, and then it shows on Friday night.
Yeah, you are off to a 4-0 start, and you have just demolished everybody right now. It's homecoming here tonight. What do you look to see out of this Little Elm team that you might not have seen in any of your early opponents?
You know, this is a scary game. They've got a lot of athletes, and they've got a good team and good coaches over there. They've got a lot to play for, and so do we, because everybody's still in the district race for playoffs, so it's a big ball game.
Who has stood out on your team the most, in your opinion?
Well, I'll tell you what, the biggest improvement we've seen from our team this year, we knew we had great skilled kids, some great kids on defense, but our offensive line and our defensive lines are really the biggest catalyst for our success right now.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time and good luck this evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. That is Coach Jeff Rayburn of the Frisco Lone Star Rangers.
Welcome back to the Last Chance Ready Mix Show. That was head coach Jeff Rayburn of the Lone Star Rangers. So here at halftime, our score is Lone Star leading Little Elm by a count of 14-0. Barry Probst and Jason Ewing here with you at the half. And Jason's got some scores to give you here. We'll take a quick break and get you caught up in those in just a moment when the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show continues on Champion Sports Radio.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com. Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Welcome back to the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show. Barry Probst, Jason Ewing with you here at Little Elm at the Little Elm Athletic Complex, where the Little Elm Lobos trail at the half, 14-0 to Lone Star. We've been telling you we'll get you caught up on some scores, and here's Jason to take away the scoreboard part.
In District 9, 5A, obviously here in Little Elm, they are down to Frisco Lone Star by a score of 14-0. Other scores around the district. Colony in the starting of the third quarter, they are up big over Frisco Independence by a score of 42-7. Frisco High is up on Frisco Centennial is up on Frisco High by a score of 10-7. And over in also in Frisco as well, it's Frisco Wakeland up on Frisco Liberty by a score of 17-14. They are just getting started in the third quarter as well. Now in District 6, 6A, you've got Flower Mound Marcus taking on Allen, and it is Allen right now up in the beginning of the third quarter by a score of 28-21. And Flower Mound and Plano High are going at it, and they are in the end of in halftime. A score with Flower Mound up by a score of 14-13. Louisville and Hebron are squaring off, and Louisville is up at halftime on that game by a score of 14-17. And then McKinney Boyd versus Plano West. And it's a tight one in the beginning of just the end of the second half. The second half is just starting, excuse me. They are in the third quarter, and Plano West is up 21-0. Some other scores around the area as my little apps tries to square up again. North Crowley is up over Fort Worth Pascal by a score of 21-15. That is in the second quarter. Going down south a little bit around the Denton area, it's Denton Ryan 35, Keller Central 0. They are battling up at District 5, 6A. And Trophy Club Byron Nelson, they are up 28-21 over Keller Timberview. The third quarter is just starting up in that one. Midlothian and South Grand Prairie. Boy, I tell you what, that's a tight one in there. It's 21-all in that game as they play at Grand Prairie Gopher Warrior Bowl. And DeSoto, they're finally getting in line for their first win of the season. They are up in the third quarter 22-3 over Grand Prairie. It is Mansfield High School over Duncanville right now in the second quarter. They're up big, 27-7. And just to kind of wrap things up here, the District 11 6A, Rockwall is up big over Garland Lakeview Centennial at the end of the second quarter by a score of 35-14. Barry, again around here in District 9 5A, Frisco Lone Star obviously up again on Little Elm 14-0, but Colony now, an update, up 49-7 in the third quarter over Frisco Independence. Frisco Centennial 17-7 over Frisco High, and it is still 17-14 in the third quarter. Frisco Wakeland over Liberty. Mr. Barry.
Thank you, Jason. And reminder next week that we'll be on the road again at our home away from home. Back at Frisco Memorial.
I was going to guess Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco Memorial specifically.
I was going to guess that.
The Lobos will play 3 games this year, so we hope you enjoyed that facility on the road last week. We actually did.
Yeah.
It was good. We love the Little Elm Athletic Complex, of course, but when we have to go on the road, we really like that.
Do you think they're going to have a homecoming or a forthcoming next week?
That is a great question.
I'm going to just lay it all down on the line, and I don't predict a forthcoming. I don't predict a homecoming. I predict a slow going.
I like it.
Right there. I'm sorry. That was a stupid dad joke. I'm sorry.
You know,
Thank you for laughing. You're polite.
The Nose Brothers at Baylor have come homing.
Come homing.
Come homing.
Okay.
They don't have
All
home
right.
guys. Come homing.
I do want to give a compliment. If you are listening on the radio and you're kind of wishing that, man, this is my only connection to this homecoming celebration is listening to this game, let me just tell you, your Little Elm marching band, boy, they did well. Your Little Elm Lobos, I guess the drill team out there, they did excellent. They really represented Little Elm well. So Little Elm got a lot of good activities, programs going on. Congratulations, and welcome everybody to your homecoming of 2015.
And in addition to the scores Jason rattled off so finely a moment ago, there's a halftime score in the college ranks. Boise State on top of Virginia in Charlottesville at half, 29-14. Boise State made a pick 6 on the first play of the game. And in Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers,
Nobody cares about that.
You want to root for as
Nobody
opposed to
cares.
these Lone Star Rangers.
Nobody cares about that, do we?
Are leading the Houston Astros 5-0
yeah, we do.
in the top of the 4th. So it looks like that
Wow.
magic number is very likely going to be trimmed from 7 to 5 tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, that'd be pretty exciting. And, you know, it's great in Arlington, Dallas-Fort Worth area to be talking about football after the first day of fall. To be talking about baseball after the first day of fall. If you've been a long-suffering Ranger fan, especially during those lean years, you know, you were done with talking about baseball in August.
Yes.
But here it is, mid-September, fall, and it looks like that, you know, you're going to be seeing baseball in the Dallas-Fort Worth area well into October, Barry.
Well,
so that'll be pretty exciting to see. I'm excited about that.
Well, teams coming out of the locker room and getting ready to run through their football tunnels again. We'll take a quick break and come back and wrap up the Last Chance Ready Mix halftime show here on Champion Sports Radio, where you're listening to Little Elm Lobo football.
Senator Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute, online at gdyo.org/jazz.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they are happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you, Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/championsportsradio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Back here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex, where the second half is about ready to start. And place kicker Jason Click has got it teed up and ready to go for the Lone Star Rangers. Kicking off from their own 40. And Little Elm this half in the third quarter will start off going from our right to left, clad in their navy jerseys, gold helmets, and white trousers tonight. Marquise Jones and Dalen Ramirez back to receive this kick from Click. It's a squibber, and it goes into the hands of, I think, Kevin Terry again. He's been busy as an up man fielding kicks. Actually, no, that was Preston Winsett that fielded that one, but Kevin Terry has fielded a couple already tonight. And Click has been keeping them honest over there on those short kicks.
I'll tell you, that football is just something that is unpredictable tonight. It's been bouncing quite a bit, and it's had some odd bounces. Most of the time it's been in the Lobos' favor, but that one, it kind of just died dead there in the right there, dead in the water. And boy, it's kind of fortunate that didn't turn out to be a turnover.
One back set. Flags fly before the play gets underway. That ball was handed off to Dion Williams, who unfortunately it looked like he had a lot of running room, but fortunately I should say, but unfortunately the flag flew and the whistle blew, and the play got stopped before he could get going, and it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on Little Elm. It'll be 1st and 15 now from their own 28. And they have had pretty good field position. That is the one thing Little Elm can't complain about in this one. Carter throws a deep slant. Armani Johnson, the intended target, didn't quite reel it in and goes incomplete, and it will bring up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, you're right. They've had pretty good field position. As a matter of fact, their last 5 drives, they started at the 33, 38, the 40, and the 49, and now the 33 here. But you hate to see your team come out and before they even get a snap off, they start moving backwards. And I know Kendrick Brown, that's not the halftime speech he was trying to use to persuade them to do, just go backwards.
Carter gives to Dion Williams, breaking tackles, big hole up the middle. Before he stood up, he crosses the 33 to the 34. Standing him up there as he crossed the line was the linebacker, the defensive lineman, Kelvin Apari. After about a 6-yard gain for Dion Williams, it brings up 3rd and a long but manageable 9 yards. Armani Johnson caught a couple of passes early. They had him in the game plan early on in the first quarter, but he hasn't been thrown to a lot since that time. Carter in the shotgun takes the snap, throws, it's incomplete. Batted away by the defensive back over there. I believe it's Kenneth Warner, that batted away, intended for the wideout Josh Seal, and that's going to bring up a punting situation. So the Lobos unable to convert on their first possession of the half. It's really too bad, Jason. They got decent field position. They did start off with a penalty, but unable to move it in the air.
Well, and that makes a big difference because when you go from 1st to 15 and you got to make up 15 yards, that should have been a 4th and 5th down.
Gilbert, high snap. He has to retreat, and he gets bumped. And head umpire referee Rick Adams sees it and does not throw a flag. Gilbert got touched. No flag flew. So Rick Adams says no penalty there. And the punt itself was actually bobbled back on the receiving end at about the 44, even though a fair catch was called. So Frisco Lone Star will now start off with good field position. They come into this game tonight 4-0. Again, the starters on offense for Lone Star: Jason Shelley, the quarterback; Robert Hall, the tailback; DJ Smith. We hadn't really called his name tonight. He's been an integral part of their offense this year as Shelley fakes a handoff and scampers around the left side. He had Hall out there as a lead blocker. Shelley across the 50 into Little Elm territory up around the 46-yard line. Looks like he got the yardage needed for the first down, and he moves the sticks right away. The center, Christian Hernandez. The guards, Reese Corey and Tanner Lesser. The tackles, John Smith and Ty Majors. The wideouts, Michael Johnson and Kobe Shelton. And the B receiver, Drayton Fuchsa, who had a touchdown catch in the first half, his first of the year. Swing pass, caught at the 46, coming to the 45-40, down the sideline. Evading tackles is Jalen Dixon, and he picks up a gain of about 18 yards to the 28-yard line.
Well, 2 plays and 2 first downs, and the Lone Star Rangers' first opening possession of the I'm sorry, that's a little redundant, but the opening possession of the second half for the Rangers, and they are starting to drive with that same precision that they had leading in the first half, the first quarter of the game.
Greg Donovan into the game as a wide receiver now for Lone Star. Haven't called his name tonight. He is lined up wide to the right. The slot on the right is Jayton Fuchsa. And Shelley takes the direct snap and just immediately runs to his left. Now reverses field, tries to cut back up through the middle of the line, and does so to about the 26 for a short gain of 2. It will be 2nd and 8 for the Lone Star Rangers. And in the third quarter, Jason, that is again one that is dominated by Lone Star as they've outscored opponents this year 34-7. The only one where opponents have outscored them is the fourth. That bodes well for Little Elm if they can keep it close. But here's a handoff up the middle to Robert Hall. He is flipped and turned upside down on his head as he crosses the 20 to the 15. A gain of 11, and Robert Hall sure earned and paid for that.
Was that Dion? Who was that down there? Was that Dalen Ramirez again?
I think it was, with maybe help from Travis Scott.
He's having a pretty big defensive night over there at cornerback.
The crowd oohed and awed at that one as Hall takes it up the middle. Big hole, 15-10, 5 touchdown. Robert Hall, 2 straight runs, 1 for 11, and that one a touchdown run of 15. And he puts Lone Star on top 20-0 with an extra point attempt yet to come from Jacob Glick.
Well, that drive took a whole 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So when Rangers do score, it is quick. It's not very, very long, pronounced drives.
Caleb Moore, the deep snapper, to hold the extra point is Colt Hedrick, who's a part-time wideout. And Click boots this one up and through, and he gives Lone Star a 21-0 edge with 9:57 to play in the third quarter. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo football on Champion Sports Radio.
Need concrete? Call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
9:57 to play in the third quarter. 21-0 our new score here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex, where the Lobos have fallen down by another score. And Jason, that one not a very long drive this time for Lone Star.
Well, and they really, their longest drive has been 8 plays, and that was their very first drive of the game. So.
Poocher by Click is fielded. Well, I say it's fielded. I think one of the up men, maybe Preston wins it again, got on it. We'll see.
Rangers are claiming it's theirs. Of course, you always are trying to do that to persuade your crowd, I guess, but
wins it the up man for kickoffs. I should point out this half, Kevin Terry handled a few in the first half. But Click is just continuing to test this group. And Little Elm is starting off with good field position, Jason, but they've got to prove they can do something with it. And until they do, Click is just going to keep kicking those little squibbers a few yards at the field.
Well, it'd be nice to not start with a penalty. And again, they have the ball on the 33-yard line for the second straight time in this half.
And Carter gives to the tailback. I think it's Dion Williams. I don't think it's Glenn Johnson. It is Dion Williams. But Glenn Young has checked into the game too, so we may see split backs back there, or at least a wing back, and we do. Glenn Johnson lines up as a wing, left side. They've also got a slot receiver backed up on the right side. Carter in the shotgun. Has time, looks left, throws, caught by Armani Johnson at the 40, and he tries to split two defenders at about the 40 for a couple of more yards to the 42. Those two guys bring him down, those being both Noah Valiser and Kelvin Apari, after about a 7-yard gain up to the 42-yard line. It'll be third and short, about one needed.
Boy, they really need to convert this one. It would be pretty nice just to keep this drive going and also to keep the ball out of the Rangers' offense hands.
Sean Gilbert splits out wide. They give it to Deion Williams over right tackle, and Easy does it for a first down as check it, not Williams, but Aaron Johnston on the carry, the 5'10", 183-pound senior running back who complements Deion Williams back there. And as Carter coming to the sideline to get a signal from one of his assistants over there.
We
Chris
got
Brown,
some
maybe.
whistle on the field.
Well, we have a whistle and a stoppage of play. We'll take a timeout with the Lobos. 8:31 to play. They are trailing 21-0. You're listening to Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
8:31 to play here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex. Barry Probst and Jason Ewing on the call tonight for you here at Little Elm, where the Lobos are trailing 21-0 in the third quarter. They just got a first down, and after that, one of the teams was unsure of things. I think it was the Lobos, because they looked to be down to one timeout left. Movement early, and I think that was Aaron Johnson on the wingback position getting out of the gate a little bit early. No, I take that back. That was the Lone Star Rangers who called the timeout. If I'm reading the scoreboard correctly.
Well, and you are, yeah. It was Lone Star that called the timeout, but here you have some good momentum going, and you shoot yourself in the foot. Now it's first down and 15 for the Lobos.
Carter in the gun, pump fakes, now going downfield long. He's got a man, it's Glenn Aaron Johnston, and he cannot catch up with it. He just did get a fingertip on it.
Boy, and that's one of the few passes on that.
Excuse me, that was Glenn Young. I beg your pardon. Go ahead, Jason.
Austin's not afraid to go downfield tonight, and he's had several chances to hit a home run ball, but that was one of the few that it just the perfect time, stride for stride throw there, and it just went through his hands. It was good coverage by the defender for Rangers, though.
They've gone for it all a lot tonight, have they not?
Yes, they have.
This
That's
time,
at least the fourth time.
Safety valve pass out in the flat that doesn't go for much at all. That is complete over there on the far sideline or the far side of the field in the flat to Armani Johnson, but he was gang tackled immediately. He had nowhere to run, and he ends up losing about 4 or maybe about 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 18 now, back from the 37-yard line. So Little Elm does get going, but we've seen them go for broke tonight about 5 or 6 times, way deep on fly patterns.
And I guarantee you Kendrick Brown saw something on film that said, man, these wide receivers can beat these corners for this Ranger defense.
Carter with time in the gun, throws downfield long again, but he just overshoots his receiver. I don't know if he had too much adrenaline flowing through him that time, and Armani Johnson did have his man beat just like he called it, but if he does connect with him, it's an easy touchdown.
He's gone. That's exactly right. And I just, and it's just you always hear football's a game of inches. In that case, it was probably about 8 to 10 inches over his hands, outstretched hands for Amani Johnson. But boy, that's just kind of a tough break. You got to see Austin Carter just maybe make a little bit more precise throws there.
Yeah, it might not have been that close. Gilbert under pressure, and this one is blocked. And it is blocked to the side, and it goes out of bounds. And I'm not sure if it was Nick Bolton that blocked that or if it was I think it was Nick Bolton who got the hand on that and blocked that. But they have been pressuring Deshaun Gilbert repeatedly, and he had managed to squeak through about 6 punts between oncoming defenders racing through the line, but not that time. And for a change, Lone Star is set up with fantastic field position. This is a team that you don't need to handicap yourself with it at all.
You certainly don't. This by far is their best field position. They're going to have a 22-yard drive to score if they do score, in fact. See if Lobos defense can try to tap into that adrenaline they had in the first half in the second quarter.
Shelley in the gun, wings it out in the flat to Drayton Fuchsa. But a great sure tackle made, I think, by Dalen Ramirez, who comes up from his corner spot to get hands on the shins and feet of Drayton Fuchsa.
He has got to be the defensive player of the game to this point so far.
He's played really well, as has this entire Little Elm defense.
Yeah, they have. But
they've been stressed tonight. Shelley in the pocket with
Flag.
time, throws it over the middle, caught at the 6, bouncing off a tackle into the end zone for an apparent touchdown is Lone Star's Jalen Dixon, but flags flew in the middle of that. And I think this is going to be holding on Lone Star. You hear a mixture of clapping and cheering, and some of that is for the presumed touchdown from the visiting crowd, but a lot of it is for the recognition of the penalty flag that this one will get wiped out from the home crowd.
I kind of chuckle a little bit because it is holding against the Rangers, but the head linesman on the top side of the football field, their far side of the football field, the Rangers were celebrating their touchdown, and he's just emphatically waving them back. Just come on back, boys. You got to do this again. And you know what? That does kind of give Little Elm Lobos, their defense, a chance to keep this defensive stand alive. And it is first down and 15, but see if they can keep this thing going.
So Shelley back in the pocket, first and long, about 20 needed. Heavy rush now. He's going to be sacked way back in the backfield near the 39-yard line. And making the sack there was Xavier Napoleon. And also breaking through was, I believe, Barrientos. Yeah, Adrian Barrientos, the 6'4", 273-pound junior. They're going to give him progress to the 38, but it's a loss of about 8, and it'll be 3rd and 26.
Boy,
so a great play again by this Little Elm D. 8 in the box and feigning blitz at least. Man coverage on the outside. Shelley with time in the pocket. Throws deep. Slant. Caught at the 25. Crossing inside to the 20. 15, 10. Breaking tackles to the 5 and touchdown. And they had him bottled up. And
they sure did.
That was Kobe Shelton who escapes him. The pack, and we've got a player down and hurt, and this they're all a costly loss, but this one I'm not sure if that's Corbin Hunt or who it is on the field, but Jalen Dixon was able to break away from a couple of defenders who were both trying to tackle him simultaneously, and I think they ran into each other is what happened.
Well, that is a 4-play drive that started at the 22-yard line, went back to about the 38-yard line, and ended up being a 38-yard touchdown pass. I think that's about where it ended up at. And, that makes it a 4-score game now.
And that was the free safety, Jarrett Bell, who got dinged with, I think, one of his other teammates in trying to make the tackle. So Colt Hedrick to hold the snap from Caleb Moore. The hold is down. The kick is up and good by Jacob Click. And it's now a 28-0 advantage with 6:08 to play in the third for Lone Star. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Little Elm Lobo football on Champion Sports Radio.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Well, Jacob Glick with the ball teed up, ready to kick again, and the up men better be ready here as he has kicked some shorties tonight on purpose, trying to test the up men. Preston wins it out there. 6:08 to play here in the third quarter as Lone Star has scored a couple of quick touchdowns, and it is a short one that's fielded again by Preston Winsett. He's really been on his toes there. The third time he scooped up a loose ball squibbed on the ground by a Jacob Glick kick. The good news is, of course, Little Elm is getting good field position out of this at about their 33 every time. But even with a shorter field, they've not been able to extend the drives. That is one thing that Little Elm has done in every game, whether they got a late start in the second half or the second quarter. They were able to get drives, get untracked offensively and get drives extended, but not tonight.
Well, and the other thing is, go ahead with this play call.
Carter with a toss to the left side, caught by Armani Johnson. Great fingertip catch there. He reached up to pull that in with his hands. And now we've got a player down, and boy, the hits have really been coming. And that's Austin Carter, who got a lick back there. They can ill afford to have him go down again. He's been knocked out of games twice this year, and as Coach Kendrick Brown said in this pregame interview, and even some of his others, that every time he reminds us, Austin Carter, this is his first year to start. So even though he's a senior, he's basically a new starter and a new player, and he's getting acclimated to a lot of things. And they're taking a look at him. We'll take a quick break and come back in a moment while they tend to him. You're listening to Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Well, Preston Winsett is the replacement quarterback who has come in to take the snap. 3rd and short as they took a handoff there. Now, coming behind there, Winslet dials it, flings it out right. It is caught on the far side at the 44-yard line, and going across the 46 to the 48 with the ball is Justin Bienemy. So a great toss there by the backup, Winsett. No, that was Carter, I beg your pardon, who quickly got back into the game.
I thought he had to miss a play.
Winsett did take the previous snap that we missed the call there, the second down one.
I guess we did, okay.
And he handed it off, but I thought Winsett had stayed in there for that one. So Carter, luckily, back in there and upright, and he moves the sticks. They give to Deion Williams over right tackle, and not much running room that time. The line trying to open up holes over there for the Lobo running attack, but just unable to. Skylar Finnegan has his hands full on that side of the line. We've got
wholesale changes in this offensive unit
and
right now.
Another stoppage of play by the officials is I think Steve Claiborne, the umpire.
Well, Barry, this
Stops
is
it there.
the third drive in this half that has started in the 33-yard line for the Lobos.
Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Carter looking left, throws, it's picked at the 50, coming down the sideline to the 40,
He's got
30,
blockers.
20, cutting back to the 10, to the 5, and to the 1. Did he get in? Dwayne Gilmore jumped around and stepped in front of that one. Carter kind of had a delayed look out there and just kind of laser focused that way, and as he threw it.
And is he down in the end zone? Is that Austin Carter down there?
Boy, that would be a tough blow if
Is
he's
he trying to get in there to stop the
Yeah.
play and keep it from scoring, and he's slow getting up.
That is Carter again with the gold shoes. And this one is, I'm not sure what the ruling is. Did he fumble it and then it was recovered by Little Elm?
That's what they're calling, and that's what the Lobos were screaming when they came off the field, is the interception on the return, and then Austin Carter gets in there and he keeps the defender from scoring, and as a result, I think Austin Carter forces a fumble even though he's slow getting off of the field, and Little Elm recovers in the end zone, and now it is 1st and 20 for the Lobos. Boy, I don't know.
I think it's 1st and 10 at the 20.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1st and 10 at the 20, yeah.
So evidently Dwayne Gilmore, who just about had a touchdown on a 49-yard return, he needed 50, doesn't get it and fumbles it. And again, Austin Carter has to be spelled by a backup, and this time it's Josh Seal, who's the usual backup, taking this snap, and he hands it off to Deion Williams for a short gain of, well, basically he didn't get anything. I think no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10, and it's when Seal has to come in, he doesn't have the same throwing, maybe not throwing ability. He doesn't have the same field of vision that Carter does, who's about a half foot taller, and he can't throw to himself. It takes away his skills position. He's running the option here, looking for running room, and there's no running room as he tries to push it back up the middle. He is met there by Kelvin Apari and also Noah Valiser for a gain of about 1, if that. So it's tough sledding right here with Austin Carter out of the lineup. He's been dinged up twice in the last 4 plays.
And Austin Carter, man, I mean, God bless him for trying to, give all-out hustle effort to keep that from being a score return for a touchdown. But, boy, you hate to see that loss develop into a long-term injury.
Hopefully it won't. Seal back to pass, throws over the middle. It is incomplete, and it's very unfortunate because it looked like Armani Johnson had it for a minute and just could not hang on. That was a pretty good pass by Seal. So it brings up 4th and 9, and Little Elm will have to punt it away. And, Armani Johnson's made some really good catches. He made a really good hands catch a while ago, but that one he just did not pull in. Looked like one he could have had.
And I'm going to say that's probably one of Joshua Seals. Is that Joshua? Or
Josh Seals,
his best pass of the year by far.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, that was down the field about 15, 20 yards and hit his receiver in stride.
So the Natives restless here at homecoming, and another punt almost gets blocked. This one takes a good Lobo bounce across the 50 all the way to the 42, where it's going to die there after a 37-yard punt by Deshaun Gilbert. But they're going to have to shore up the blocking there on the punt team because Gilbert is getting pressured and hounded and just barely getting the punts away.
Well, and he's really saved the Lobos defense quite a lot of headache based on his punts, but unfortunately one got blocked earlier, and the Rangers were able to score. First 2 drives in the first half, Rangers score. First 2 drives in the second half, the Rangers score. See if the Lobos can stop them and can keep the trend going like they did the last half and make them turn it over on downs in preceding 8 drives.
Quarterback draw by Jason Shelley, and he's got running room across the 50, down the numbers alley to the 40, the 30, the 20, and all the way to the 12-yard line before he is pulled down there, making a touchdown-saving tackle. A guy who's been all over the place for Little Elm, Daylon Ramirez, but Shelley steps off about a 43-yard gain. They give to Robert Hall, the tailback, and not much running room there for Hall that time He is grabbed quickly by a couple of Lobos. In on the tackle for the Lobos along with Nick Terry. Was a guy slow to get up. Looked like maybe Barrientos and Xavier Napoleon. Shelley in the pocket, rush from the outside, and Shelley escapes it. He goes to the 5, to the 2, touchdown. Shelley is just so fast, and when they're chasing him from behind, he's already got a step or two ahead of them, and he's almost being caught, but he's just so fast, and they are having to do a loop around the backside of the line to chase him, and he just evades it. So it's now a 34-0 game, and Jacob Click, who's 4 for 4 on extra points, trying to make his night 5 of 5.
Well, give credit to Little Elm Lobos. They sure were giving them a tough fit there with as the extra point is good defensively. But, well, I'll tell you, it seems like the Lone Star Rangers have started to figure out things offensively and defensively, and kind of having their way with this Little Elm Lobos football team right now.
There's a minute 52 to play. We'll keep it right here for the time being, but let you know about some of the people we'd like to thank tonight, including Last Chance Ready Mix. When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag. They're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. Mixed at their facility and then delivered straight to you, Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them. Serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years, call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, "Go Lobos!" And they are certainly trying to go here tonight, but on the short end of a deficit right now that's reached 35-0.
Just to report a score real quick, Colony had pulled out a 56-21 lead in the third quarter. That game now in the fourth quarter, the Colony is up still 56, but Frisco Independence 34. They're trying to fight their way back into that game.
Short kick fielded at the 26, coming near side to the 25, 30, 40, and all the way to the 48-yard line. On the return there is Kevin Terry, and he's been one of the up guys who's been fielding grounded squibbers, but that time he got a kick he could return in the air and made the most of it. About a 21-yard return there for Terry, who gives little they're going to mark him down at the 47 actually instead of the 49. A good kickoff return of 24 yards by Terry, and we'll see who's this got
Carter?
Gold cleats, so yeah, I think that's
Wow.
Austin Carter back in there to match his brushed gold helmet. And he hands off to Dion Williams, and they are keying on him. Noah Valiser in on the tackle along with Kelvin Perry. And also Dwayne Gilmore, the guy who had a pick a while ago. But I think they're expecting a running play since Carter's been banged up lately. That maybe Little Elm's not taking chances with him, even though there's a two wide out split to either side as I say that. And he does a quick toss near side to Armani Johnson. Oh, nice split between the defenders at the 44-yard line across the 50 to the 46-yard line in Ranger territory. Nice little dance and nifty move there by Armani Johnson, the receiver. He gets about 7 or 8 yards rather on the catch and run. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, that's a very nice 3rd and short. Very manageable for this Lobos offense. See if they can capitalize and get the first down, because Armani, like you said, he just had a really sweet move there. Pretty nifty.
So 3rd and 3, Carter in the shotgun, wings it out to Johnson again, races forward, spins off a tackle across the 43 to the 42-yard line, and he's got the line to gain by about a half yard, it looks like.
And Barry,
as Jorge Juarez passes in the ball to Steve Claiborne, and he spots it down, and yes.
I'm sorry, Barry.
That's all right.
Armani Johnson, that's too good back-to-back plays for him. First of all, that catch where he makes a sweet move, and then on that play, he has a key block that allows the receiver who just caught the ball to get the yardage for the first down. So 2 great back-to-back plays by Armani Johnson.
Carter in the shotgun, looking left, throwing left, and it is caught again. Over there on the near side, this time by C.J. Seal for a short gain of about 2, rather. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And I can't emphasize again, Armani Johnson again. He has a key block that gets positive yards for as they go into the fourth quarter, but he's just having a will of a game himself and doing it not just with the ball, but doing it when the ball's not in his hands and helping his teammates out gain yardage. But we move on to the fourth quarter, Barry.
Take a break and come back in a moment with the fourth quarter. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute, online at gdyo.org/jazz.
3rd and 7, and Austin Carter wings it out wide to Deshaun Gilbert, but he can't hang on, and it brings up 4th down now, and the Lobos will either have to go for it here on 4th down, which they probably will do, trailing 35-0. I would not think they'd punt this away, trailing by 5 scores. Their lineup with Josh Seal and Deshaun Gilbert to the right. Carter pump fakes going long. He's got Gilbert down there, and Gilbert cannot make the catch, and pretty good defense, even though he was not looking back at all. He reaches in and knocks the ball away. That was the defensive back, Chris Miller.
Yeah, Miller had really good defense. He had his hand standing basically right in front of the face mask of the receiver there. I'm messing up my name there, but
Deshaun Gilbert.
Yeah, Deshaun Gilbert. Just really good coverage there, but I have to tell you, it's really good to see a Little Elm football team that I think they've had plenty of reasons to get discouraged and get upset. And even though this is still like halfway through the season, you're not seeing them just kind of kowtown and move away from the battle. And I do admire that. And I think the fans in Little Elm should admire that as well. And I think it's a sign of a good coach team as well.
Jason Shelley in there. He throws one wide on the near side to Jalen Dixon, and Dixon is finally wrapped up and slung down out of bounds. And I tell you what, Shelley and his wideouts are really on point with each other. They don't drop many, and they throw some really long, wide throws.
Yeah, they do, and that was really, like I said, just one of those things where in the first half they were really precise in the first 2 drives, and then it kind of fell apart, but suddenly they are back on track.
Jalen Dixon takes the speed sweep, and he is just collared around the right side by, I believe it was Travis Scott, the linebacker, who made that wicked tackle on him up high. And for a gain of 1, and it looked like Dixon was just going to do it again. He's carried that speed sweep on the end around 3 or 4 times tonight for pretty good yardage, but Scott stayed with him and collars him down for a 1-yard gain. Shelley, wide toss to Dixon, caught at the 50, gets lead blocking up to about the 45-43 by Kobe Shepard, the wide Shelton over there, the wide out. And you know, it's a fine line there, Jason, between pass interference and blocking.
Yeah.
Because he kind of looked like he got engaged on the blocking a little bit early, but he did do really good downfield blocking once Dixon caught the pass, no doubt.
That's true. And looks like we have a flag on the far end of the field, and is somebody ejected?
I don't know about the ejected part, but a personal foul was called.
Well, we got a Lobos player coming off the field. and he was being escorted.
Charles Igioma or the I didn't see.
It was. Let me see who
I didn't see head referee Rick Adams.
No, it wasn't.
Igioma was on the sideline talking to.
It's Igioma. Yeah, he's come off the field, and it looks like he might be done for the night for some reason.
No indication from head referee Rick Adams other than a personal foul, which moves it up to the 25-yard line in Lobo territory. Jacob Shelley fakes the sweep toss around the backside, throws far side of the field. I think that was intended for Drayton Fuchsa over there. Yeah, and Fuchsa, one of the few mistakes he's made tonight, he was not able to hang on to that. And tell you what, Shelley throws that ball 35 to 40 yards on a rope, Jason. It's incredible.
He does. And I want to clarify for the Little Elm fans, Charles Igioma has not been thrown out of this game. He was just pulled out for the play, but apparently there was some kind of a personal foul on him, and coaches were really talking to him. And, the ref, I think he's thinking he got tossed because now he stopped the back judge there. The umpire has stopped the play after Charles Igioma enters the game again.
And umpire Steve Claiborne is coming. Well,
now
nothing said to them. So
okay. Well, they did address Igioma out there. I think there was some confusion on whether he should have gotten tossed or not, but he's still in the game.
Shelley gives to Robert Hall, the tailback. A flag flies at Shelley's feet. That gets his attention, and he turns around like, what's that about? I just handed the ball off.
Well,
head referee Rick Adams threw his flag, and he went right at the cleats of Jacob Shelley, and this is going to be a holding call on the Lone Star Rangers, so that'll cost them 10 yards.
And I don't know, but Igioma has certainly gotten fired up all of a sudden because he was in the backfield making that tackle after all that discussion, after I guess whatever unsportsmanlike penalty he was tossed for or flagged on, and then the debate on whether he should have been in the game or not, and he responded with his emphatic hit in the backfield there. So good play for him.
Ball on the left hash, trips right side, one back set. Jacob Shelley, and by the way, Shelley has gone the distance in a lot of these games, even though they've been lopsided scores. He's still in there. Looking long, throwing downfield, intended for Kobe Shelton, and Shelton not only cannot hang on to it, but it would have been out of bounds anyway, and he was pretty well defended over there by the defensive back for Little Elm, Nathan Leonard, the 6'2", 173-pound cornerback.
Well, this makes the seventh play for the drive for the Rangers. Probably by far the longest drive for the Rangers as far as time consumption is concerned. Scoring drive-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Each of their scoring drives have been 2 minutes, 1.5 minute, 2 minutes, 1.5 minute, and 46 seconds. So when they score quick. They do not eat a lot of time on the clock.
Jason Shelley with quite an arm. He's getting some pressure. He throws it over the middle, long, incomplete. Intended for his receiver down there, going down on the skinny post, Drayton Fuchsa, but he's not able to catch up with it, and it brings up 4th and long, about 20 needed. And would we see the punter again for Connor O'Brien? He's had to do punting duties 3 or 4 times tonight, or are they just going to maybe try to go for it down there, and if they don't make it, push Little Elm back a little bit deeper in their own territory?
Well, you're right, though. He has punted about 4 times in this game, but for the Rangers. But it's that no man's land again. It's right at the 35-yard. It appears they're going to go for it.
Indeed, they are. Wing set on the right. Tailback comes goes forward. Are they going to call a legal procedure?
No, I think a delay of game.
Yeah, the play clock was reset at 25, so now they're just going to give themselves some room and punt it. We'll see what O'Brien has kicked some okay punts, but none that you would think he needed to back up and give himself room for.
I know, that's kind of funny. You see that in the NFL sometimes,
or college,
but not in high school. Let's back us up a little more to give us more room to punt.
And there's really no discernible wind tonight.
No.
Warm night. O'Brien has time, gets his left foot into it, and it's a kind of a wobbly kick that takes a bit of a Ranger bounce to the middle of the field and across the 15 to the 12, and it is killed there by the Rangers. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Little Elm, no matter who starts out at quarterback, with them trailing 35-0. Little Elm would like to say thanks to Steve Swanson at Whirly Ball tonight for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in a whirly bug. And they have the most affordable laser tag in town. Sounds good. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and in Hearst. Leagues are starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. And they'd also like to thank Steve and Barb Hill at Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products with competitive pricing and quality work. You can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. Online at pointoforigindesign.com. That's pointoforigindesign.com. 9:52 to play here in the game. And Little Elm on the short end. And who is captaining this drive? It is Austin Carter back in there. He's been knocked from the game a couple of times tonight.
Well, and I guarantee you there's a lot of pride for these Lobos to come out here and at least try to end on a high note.
The handoff is given to Aaron Johnston, who lowers his shoulder and burrows into the middle of the pile and was trying to spin away from tacklers. And he got away from maybe 1 or 2, but he was unable to get away from the grasp of more of them, including Dwayne Gilmore and big Victor Terry, the backup defensive lineman.
And Austin Carter has to questionably be one of the toughest guys in this district right now. I mean, just to be hit the way he is and to keep showing the leadership to be in this game, each game in and game out.
They tried to throw an inside receiver screen to the left side, and it goes incomplete, intended for Armani Johnson. I think he threw it just a little bit too high for Johnson to get that one, and it goes incomplete.
Well, they're still trying to keep it spread out here. They're not wanting to try to eat the clock up with a running game or something. They want to get down there and score, and you know, I think they should. You know, what are you going to lose if you have another interception at this point in the game? And you just got to keep working on stuff and showing that you can maybe prove to yourselves that you've got an effective pass game, effective pass block too.
Option to the short side, and Carter is chopped down in the backfield at about the 14-yard line. Going to be a loss of about 4 and bring up 4th down. He was running to the short side of the field, and Jason, he really didn't have a pitch man to throw it to.
No.
His pitch man was kind of in front of him.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was a miscommunication there or just kind of not really realizing where, as a running back or quarterback, where you are on the field in reference to your option person. But Deshaun Gilbert back to punt again.
He has had a really good night punting the ball tonight. Punts a line drive. Caught in midair on a fumble, on a takeaway.
Fumbled.
And now fumbled again and picked up by crazily by the Lone Star Rangers. And I'm not sure who caught that one in mid-stride. I thought it was maybe Jonathan Porter who caught a deflected punt in the air.
That is a crazy play.
Not even a total muff. This was caught in mid. Sometimes you see muffs hit the ground, and those can't be advanced. But a punt that's muffed in midair, I believe, can be advanced, like that one was. And I mean, he caught it in stride and almost. It looked like he was going to maybe take it the distance. He had to hold up for it for a second. Otherwise,
did it hit the ground? Is that
no,
what they're
it
saying?
never hit the ground. I don't think it ever hit the ground.
But it can't be advanced. Is that what you're saying?
I thought one in the air like that could be advanced, but maybe even a muff that is in the air can't be. I thought a muff in the air.
That has to be it because it. The Lobos player, if he can advance it, it should be Ranger ball then, because he gives up the fumble. I mean, he fumbles it around the 10 or 12-yard line, and at that point, the Ranger player advances it because he recovers it. He advances it back toward the 18 or 20-yard line. So that has to be the rule. You can't advance it.
Well, there's a timeout on the field as they sort this out. We'll take one with them, too.
That's crazy.
You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute, online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Many heart conditions can be fixed.
Well, Little Elm, the upshot on this is that Little Elm takes over on the muffed punt, I believe. Carter pump fakes, goes deep. Got a man, Deshaun Gilbert, caught it to 6-5, touchdown, Deshaun Gilbert. Coach Kendrick Brown had been saying since last week he wanted to get him more involved in the game, or he's involved right there.
Yeah. Well, that's a one-play TD drive that started, I guess, right around the 38, 30, or
no, it was about the 48.
Line. Somewhere in there, but boy. And that's pretty good night for Deshaun Gilbert to have all those punts that I think has really kept the score from being more than 35 points, actually, because of his punting.
Yeah.
And then he has a punt that results in a muff. I guess he can design that, but going for the extra point now.
Kyle Wagner boots it through,
wow,
and he gives Little Elm a 7 spot on the board. 35-7 our new score, 8:15 to play. We'll take a break and come back in a moment. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
Until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Back at the Little Elm Athletic Complex, and yours truly stands corrected as the extra point went awry. It looked like it went right through, but and we didn't see any signal from the officials down below. We did see a heavy rush from the left side. It looked like he might try to block it, but Kyle Wagner must have just booted it a little bit wide. Nonetheless, he boots this one to the right side. There is a single safety back there, fielding it at the 13, coming to the 15, 20, far side of the field to the 25, 30, 35-yard line goes Chris Miller on the return of 22 yards. He ran virtually the whole width of the field on that return, and a net return vertically of 22 yards.
And once again, I just want to emphasize kudos to the coaching staff and to the Little Elm Lobos. You know, you're down 35-0, and boy, you just keep trying to put pedal to the metal and try to make something happen just to give your team some kind of momentum, something to be just to hang your hat on. And that's exactly why you keep driving and keep plugging away, and you get a nice play all of a sudden with Deshaun Gilbert and a touchdown pass from Austin Carter.
Well, Shelley still in the game, and he wings it out wide to the near side, caught at about the 36, coming to the 40, 45, and across the 45 to the 48 with the ball is Jalen Dixon, I believe. Drayton Fuchs also mixed up in there at the end of that play, but I think it was Dixon who caught it and managed his way across the 45 for a gain of about 12 to the 48. It'll be a first down for Lone Star. And Shelley, not really anybody spelling him tonight. He hands it off to the tailback Hall over the 50 into Lobo territory to about the 47 for a gain of about 5.
You almost wonder if there is somebody to spell him.
Well, they have had in limited action, Cole Tedrick, the placeholder for the extra points, has been the backup quarterback. Very little action. He's like 3 of 5 on the year. And this is some kind of penalty. I did not see the flag, Jason.
I didn't either. Well, just to get you updated on some pretty crazy scores, fourth quarter, Colony is up now 70-41 over Independence. And earlier in the game, Frisco High was down 24-7. It is now 24-24 in overtime.
Wow. That screen pass, rather, out in the wide side to Jalen Dixon, bounces off his hands and chest and goes forward, and he's lucky that ball wasn't picked because both Nathan Leonard and another defensive back were out there, and it kind of bounced in between the two of them who were trying to bear down on the intended receiver, Jalen Dixon. So it goes incomplete, and it brings up 2nd and 20. Shelley gives to Hall, looking for room, and good job by Jacob Scroggins staying disciplined in his spot to wait on him, and he had help from Xavier Napoleon to bring him down after a gain of about 3. It brings up 3rd and 17. The officials blew the whistle, but the clock continued to run. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe they just whistled the sub players in.
Well, and just to remind everybody, that game with Frisco coming back down 24-7 is 24-all in the first overtime was against Frisco Centennial. And, well, I'll tell you, another sharp shootout as Frisco Wakeland is up 44-36 over Frisco Liberty in the fourth quarter.
And Wakeland is who we'll see next week back at Memorial Stadium in Frisco. Jacob Shelley dances around in the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. A great, just high up tackle by Charles Igioma, the linebacker. The 200-pounder just grabbed him up high after Shelley danced around a while and pulled him down for about a 7-yard loss. It'll be 4th and 24. And, you know, they might want to think about taking Shelley out there because he is such a key cog in this
really
Lone Star O that they can't really go without him. They cannot run it identically.
I promise I'm not trying to just make something up here to find something to brag about, but you see these kids out here for Little Elm being down the way they are, but making big plays, getting excited after making big plays. So just really proud of these guys getting out there working hard.
Yeah, you've got to love their spirit. They never quit. They haven't quit all year. They haven't quit tonight.
No, and it's not an arrogant, like, celebrating something silly.
No.
You know, I mean, it's a genuine enthusiasm after a good play, a legitimate good play. And that sack right there, you see guys just saying, man, that's acknowledging each other's good effort. And you know, it's hard as a coach, I guarantee you, and as coaches to say, you know what can we do to keep ourselves going and motivated? And that starts with the coaching staff on down to these players. And I'm Little Elm fans, please know I'm not trying to patronize you. There's a lot of pride and a lot of really neat things to be excited and to enjoy when you're watching your team play out here.
Short punt of 29 yards by Connor O'Brien gives Little Elm the ball set up at their own 37. And this pass downfield intended for Armani Johnson is ruled incomplete. Fans groan like he had it, but the line judge, Jorge Juarez, calls it incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10, and Carter at least had some time to throw that. It was a fairly good throw down there. Just ashamed it was incomplete if it was, because it looked like Johnson may have caught it, and he would have been close to the line to gain. So as it's called incomplete, it brings up 2nd and 10. Trips set out to the left. Carter starts to drop back to pass, and the umpire, Steve Claiborne, rules illegal procedure against Little Elm, and it will cost them 5. And Jason, I know there weren't a ton of penalties for a while, but that has obviously changed. I'm not sure what the number is now, but it's got to be upward of double digit again.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know that we'll surpass the laundry we saw last week on the field.
No, not at all.
But it is higher than normal, I'm sure.
Carter with time, looks downfield, throws, caught at the 42-yard line. They get about 12 of the yards back. That one caught by Justin Bienemy over there on the near side at the 42-yard line. A gain of 10. And it will be 2nd and about 5 coming. So Bienemy getting his first catch of the night. Good to see him in the game. Justin is just a sophomore for this, a junior for this team. I beg your pardon. Armani Johnson, Deshaun Gilbert, and C.J. Seal in the game as wideouts right now. And it is Glenn Young in the backfield, or Aaron Johnston rather, as this little slant pass intended for Johnson kind of went behind him maybe. He's not able to pull that one in. He goes incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Lobos, trailing in this one 35-6 rather than 35-7, which I had mentioned a while ago.
And we all remember that, Barry. We remember every one of your mistakes, and I'll remind you of it too, right? Is that okay?
That's fine. You'll be really busy all night, though, I can tell you that.
Oh. We got a timeout on the field now? Yep.
Timeout for Little Elm, 4:55 to play. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more Lobo football here on Champion Sports Radio.
Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they are happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Well, Deshaun Gilbert is coming in to punt, presumably. It is 4th and 5. We have not seen Little Elm fake one tonight. But big rush. Gilbert's going to punt it. Maybe they're banking on another fumble. This one won't even be returned. It's kicked out of bounds to the right. Let's see where they spot at the line. Judge Jorge Juarez walking down the sideline across the 30, across the 35 to the 39 he goes. And so Gilbert kind of shortchanged himself on this punt. Only about a 19-yard punt where they mark it out. And he's kicked some really good ones tonight, but that one just kind of went off his foot a little too soon. And you know, maybe, like I said, they were banking on Frisco Lone Star fumbling another punt.
Well, and I don't know if punting more than 7 or 8 times in a game wears your leg out either. That could have been part of it too, because he's punting quite a bit.
Hand off to the tailback, and let's see who that was on the carry. I think we have a new tailback into the game. It may have been Darren Smith, DJ Smith. And we do have a new
quarterback.
We do have a new quarterback. He's noticeably a little bit smaller and shorter. Colt Hedrick, who's also the placeholder on extra point kicks. So a new tailback and DJ Smith.
I don't have a classification.
Who's no slouch at all. He's rushed 44 times for 273 yards and 6 touchdowns coming into the game. Hedrick fakes the handoff, keeps. Races back, it cuts back into the middle of the line across the 45 to the 47 he goes. A gain of about 6, and it brings up 3rd and 2 here as we're under 4 minutes to play in this contest between Little Elm and the Lone Star Rangers here at homecoming. And quite a few of the fans have still held on here tonight, Jason.
They have. They announced some of the alumni cheerleaders earlier in the game. Looked like 3 or 4 former cheerleaders went down there and cheered with their contemporary counterparts that are part of the cheerleading squad now.
3rd and 2. Hedrick gives it to DJ Smith, and he drags a tackler across the 50, and I think he's got the first down. We've got some new faces into the game for Little Elm as well as for Lone Star, including Tyler Scott, the 219-pound junior linebacker, and Jordan Freeman, the 6'1", 172-pound junior cornerback into the game. If we see other guys in there that are new in there tonight, like Curtis Emery, he hadn't played much tonight, or we hadn't called his name. He's usually a starter, but he didn't see him in there earlier, and he's in there now. Hedrick fakes the handoff, keeps. He's going to be dumped in the backfield, and making a great tackle for a loss back there is Tyler Scott, the 5'10", 219-pound linebacker, racing in and dumping Hedrick for a 2-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Well, yeah, you could probably almost get in trouble for some excessive celebration after that sack, and it was a good sack. And again, you want to see these guys kind of maybe touch the brake a little bit on your celebration, but I also understand you're in a game that's things are not going well, and you got to just find something to get fired up about, and that was a good sack.
Edgar Kahn is a linebacker, and he blows through the line on the right side and gets a hand on the slithery DJ Smith, but he's unable to bring him down. And Kahn was really amped up and excited there, as you could see, blitzing in from the right side of the line, and he was trying to time the snap perfectly and almost did so. He would have had Smith down for a loss in the backfield had he been able to get both hands on him, but Smith a little bit slippery and quick, and manages to score through for a 6-yard gain.
So, just Barry, do you think this Frisco Ranger team, or Lone Star Ranger team, they're going to be the team to beat, you think, for this district?
They are the Colony, as DJ Smith is ridden down laterally after a handoff there in the backfield, and it's big Corbin Hunt taking him down for a loss in the backfield. Hunt, the 218-pound senior linebacker, rides down DJ Smith, but I would say Lone Star definitely looks like they're the team to beat, or the Colony.
Well, didn't Colony lose to this Lone Star team? Or was it this team? Or
no?
I thought that
they have not played the Colony yet.
Who beat Colony then?
It was one of the other Frisco schools. Okay. I don't remember right offhand, but I was very surprised.
So Colony does have one loss though in district.
They do.
Okay.
It was quite an upset, and it wasn't Independence. I'm thinking it was Liberty or Heritage.
Right. I sure thought it was I thought it was this Lone Star team, but still. But they will remain undefeated, obviously.
So we got a stoppage to play with 47 seconds left. We'll take a quick timeout and come back in a moment. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Connor O'Brien into punt on 4th and 9. And now retreating deep for the Little Elm Lobos. Back at about his own 20.
Wow.
O'Brien gets a straight up kick. And this one almost, it's fielded or pounced on, I should say, by a couple of Lobos. Igioma and Corbin Hunt, who were right there by it. And no one, I don't think on either team, Jason, was really aware that it went straight up like it did.
You know what? It didn't go far, but it went as high as an NFL punt. I mean, we're up here on the 3rd story, and I think we were eye level with it. That sucker was high.
It was high, and it hung up there a while, and all the gunners and everybody on the Lone Star team raced all the way down the field, and a couple of guys who let the blockers go through didn't even see it. Just kind of felt it bounce near them and then said, oh, there's the ball. And I think we have a new quarterback into the game here for the Little Elm Lobos. We do. It is Zach Brigandi, the 5'7", 142-pound senior backup quarterback, seeing action for the first time this year, I think, at quarterback, as Josh Seal has taken most of the reps as a backup. Clock down under 13 seconds, and Little Elm may not even run another play. They did get on the board. They were treated to a good halftime show by their band and the Lone Star band, and a great effort by the team tonight. Just unable to stop this high-powered Lone Star Ranger attack.
Yeah, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in this district, I promise, this 9-5A, and it may mount up to, just like you said, between this Lone Star Rangers and Colony, but probably one of the most, especially when they execute well and they're on task, they are a very precise, fast-paced, fast-scoring defense. Very high-charged, fast-paced offense. I apologize for misunderstanding there, but boy, this Ranger team's pretty impressive to watch. Little Elm, they had their chances. They certainly showed they could stand up to them, but unfortunately they fall short tonight, 35-6.
That is the final. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo Football on Champion Sports Radio.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they are happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you. Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Welcome back to Little Elm Athletic Complex in Little Elm. Barry Probst, Jason Ewing with you here for the In Command Broadcasting Post Game Show, and just wanted to get you caught. We'll get you caught up on scores and stats in a moment. Good job by Little Elm to not give up, and then that fourth quarter. I guess they got outscored Jason 7-6, as it turns out, and that was the one quarter that Lone Star had lost all year, and they narrowly won that one by a point when you think about it, 7-6.
Well, I guess depending on what you look at, the line score actually on the Dallas Morning News Sports Day website.
Oh, three of the TDs were all in the third
so they did
quarter,
so they actually outscored them 6-0. But you're right, it's good to see them continually fight through. And I'm just going to warn any future opponents in the rest of this season, if you're going to sit there and think you're going to play Little Elm and you think that whatever score you have on them that they're going to lay down, don't let this team stick around if you want to secure a victory, because they will continue to fight no matter how far they are down, and they do have the capacity to score and score quickly. And boy, I'd be really really excited, and I anticipate a victory in the near future for this team. And it might very well be an upset, and it'll be some really surprising teams that they will walk in here thinking they got an easy task at hand, and I promise it will not be for anybody who goes up against these Little Elm Lobos.
Little Elm falls to 0-5 with a loss. Lone Star vaults their record to 5-0. We'll take a quick break and come back in a moment with the In Command Broadcasting post-game show here on Champion Sports Radio.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they're happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you, Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute, online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting Post-Game Show. Barry Probst, Jason Ewing with you here this evening as Little Elm falls during homecoming to the Lone Star Rangers by a score of 35-6. That's our final tally tonight. And Jason's got the numbers underneath the game and the what you saw on the surface tonight.
Well, let me get you through Frisco Lone Star's statistics before we talk about our hometown Lobos, Total yards for Lone Star Rangers, 432 yards. They get 22 first downs. Their rushing totals were 37 rushing attempts for 202 yards. That's a 5.5 rushing average, not bad at all. And then their passing was 15 for 30 with 1 interception. That 1 interception was in the first half. That's a 50% completion right down the middle for 230 yards, so well balanced as well. as they have 30 pass attempts versus 37 rushing attempts, and really right down the middle, 202 total rushing yards and 230 passing yards. So pretty even killed running and passing attack there. They end up punting. Rangers punt 7 times for a total of 185 yards. That's an average of 26.4 yards. They do have two fumbles and they lose 2 fumbles, so 3 total turnovers. But they're able to overcome those, even though that they are -3 in the turnover ratio to Little Elm. Penalties, 10 for 89 yards. You're right, Barry, because Little Elm ended up having 8 penalties for 65 yards for a total of 18 flags thrown. Mr. Shelley, quarterback for the Rangers, he was the lone passer completion. He had a 50% passer completion. That's 15 of 30 for 230 yards with 2 TDs. He also rushes 17 times for 108 yards with a touchdown. Second behind him in rushing is Hall with 9 for 60 yards for touchdowns. So that was a very productive game.
Yeah, Shelley last week had 17 for 80.
So that's not
and then the penalties last week, both teams 10 for about 90 or more. So the penalties ended up, Jason, being about exactly what they were last week.
And it was right down the middle. Receiving-wise, though, is it Fuchsa? Is that how you say his last name? I think
yes,
that's
Drayton Fuchsa.
He has 6 receptions for 131 yards, so big passing reception game for him.
Or you better say it that way, or you'll be in trouble.
I know, on the radio. At least it's internet streaming, right? You can delete this part. But he has 6 for 131 yards for 1 touchdown. Also with a touchdown was Shelton for he had the 1 reception for 38 yards. Now let's go to the Little Elm. Their offensive production still struggling, not getting the big offensive production. This is probably one of their lowest offensive productions of the season. Total of 183 yards. They get 10 first downs though, and they only get 30. They rush 30 times, but only 36 yards. That's a 1.2 average, and so that's something that I know Kendrick Brown will really want to work on and see if that can improve on that. Austin Carter, 15 of 37 with a interception. He throws for a total of 147 yards. That's a 40.5 completion percentage. And boy, I'll tell you, our punter, Deshaun Gilbert. Did I say that right? I keep
yes,
messing
you
up
did.
I'm
you got it.
Deshaun Gilbert. I finally got it. He punts 10 times. That's why that last punt was a little 10 times, and he has punted. Listen to this. 311 yards of punting for him.
Wow.
That is 31.1 average, and that is just crazy.
When you have more punting yards than total offense, that's the kind of night you're up against.
That's right. And I'm going to tell you, that special teams, they really kept that game manageable for a lot of the game for Little Elm. So, and you know what? I say that, and you don't want to see your punter having to punt 10 times. So they got to. I'm sure Kendrick Brown wants to see those punts reduced and more scoring opportunities. Passing, as I said, Austin Carter 15 for 37 for 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Leading rusher of the game was Williams, 14 of 30 for 37 yards. Leading receiver, Deshaun Gilbert, 3 for 59, and the lone touchdown for the Little Elm Lobos. And that is your statistics, Mr. Barry.
All right, Mr. Jason, we'll take a break and come back in a moment and give you the scores from around the area. You're listening to Little Elm Lobo football in the In Command Broadcasting Postgame Show.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting Post-Game Show as we get ready to go around the area and give you scores. And first of all, we didn't get to mention this in the Whirly Ball pregame show, but from last night, Jason, Arlington Bowie escaped with a win over Arlington Sam Houston, 35-29. That was over at Weileman Field in Arlington. And 5-6A was Denton Geyer beating up Keller 62-44 at the Keller ISD Athletic Complex. Keller last year had more of a defensive team, and this year they've got a pretty salty offensive team and not nearly as good a defense for some reason. In 7-6A last night, Euless Trinity beat up on Colleyville Heritage 59-33. Our old Champion Sports Radio friend Taylor Wilson, one of the coaches on that Heritage squad this season. In 9-6A, it was Irving Nimitz all over R.L. Turner, 52-7. Jesuit shut out Sunset, big surprise there, 52-0. Mesquite loses to Mesquite Hornet Memorial, 28-27. That out of 10-6A. Saxe has some turnovers and gives it away to Garland, losing 38-34. And my alma mater gets blasted at home by Rowlett, 54-20. They lost their primo quarterback, Zach Hall, a couple of weeks ago, and the season's just kind of gone downhill since then. Hillcrest beat North Dallas 41-14. Forney destroyed South Garland, the Colonels losing 58-13. Adamson blanked by Samuel, 27-0. And Mansfield, Lake Ridge, and Jet Duffy get it done big over Waxahachie, 60-34. The final in that one. And a baseball score to pass along to you. Shin-Soo Choo clubbed a 2-run homer early in the game. And he and the Texas Rangers lead the Houston Astros 6-2 in the top of the 7th. Jason, give us tonight's action now.
All right, in District 6A, I'll get back over to District 5A here in a minute. District 6A, the final, there's only one final right now, is Louisville 21, Hebron 14, so Louisville goes on in victory. And the rest of these games showing still in the fourth quarter. Allen is up over Flower Mound Marcus 38-28. And Plano and Flower Mound, Plano's up 36-31 in the fourth quarter. And McKinney Boyd and Plano West, they are at war still at the fourth quarter. McKinney Boyd is up 41-31 over Plano West. In District 5A, all of these are finals. Frisco Independence, they fall even though they score 41 points, Barry, to Colony 70-41. Boy, that was a lot of offense in that game. And then Frisco Heritage over Frisco, they fall short to Frisco Centennial 31-27. And then Frisco Wakeland? Is that right? Wakeland.
Yeah. You got it.
They beat in overtime Frisco Liberty they're up. They win 44-36. The game that went into overtime, Centennial was up 21-7 earlier in the third quarter in that game. And boy, I tell you what's crazy there, Frisco High comes back and they tie it 27 all, and they end up falling in the first overtime 31-27. So a lot of high scoring action all around in the area of football. And I'll tell you what, wish that game would have been this close here at Little Elm, but unfortunately it wasn't. And so hopefully see some closer games in the near future for the Little Elm Lobos. But those are your scoring updates from around the area.
Thank you, Jason. We'll take a break and come back in a moment with more on the In Command Broadcasting postgame show. You're listening to Little Elm Football on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org and let your heart be heard.
In the end zone. Well, Jason, did you make it a great Vest and See average white band last week there?
I did not, but I'm telling you, I love this groove. I mean, that is, I don't know.
I didn't see any.
I'm an average. I'm an average white man enjoying an average white song. I guess that's kind of funny there.
Well, Little Elm picking up the pieces tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Homecoming setback at 35-6 here at the Little Elm Athletic Complex, and we're about the only ones left in the shop here.
Yep.
We want to thank everyone listening tonight and our new sponsor tonight, Last Chance Ready Mix, shockboxdfw.com. And all the others, GDYO Jazz Institute and the new GDYO Jazz. Check out them at gdyo.org to learn more about this amazing group, including when your next chance is to enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. Next week, if everything goes perfectly, pregame for the Whirly Ball pregame show will start at 6:30. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock. That's at Frisco Wakeland, like we said early on, at our home away from home back at Frisco Memorial Stadium before they come back here in a couple of weeks to take on Frisco Liberty. After that, the 16th, that'll be an open date 3 weeks from tonight for the Lobos. So next week it's off at Wakeland to see if they can notch that first win. We'll take a quick break and wrap this up in a moment on the In Command Broadcasting post-game show on Champion Sports Radio.
When you need concrete, call Last Chance Ready Mix for all your residential or commercial needs. Family owned and operated by Little Elm alums Tricia Mariquin and Jimmy Sontag, they are happy to help you with your project no matter the size. From a small patio to thousands of square feet, Last Chance Ready Mix is the perfect solution. Mix at their facility and then delivered straight to you, Last Chance Ready Mix is ready when you need them, serving the Little Elm area for over 30 years. Call Last Chance Ready Mix at 817-559-5745. Last Chance Ready Mix says, Go Lobos!
Shell experts here with a pitching machine and a shield to demonstrate the importance of protecting your engine.
Think of me as an engine. The Shield is new Shell gasoline with 20% more nitrogen and rich cleaning agents than before.
And the baseballs are gunk that attack intake valves and fuel injectors.
Come on, gunk, is that all you got?
Gunk is out of here.
New Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. No other gasoline protects your engine better.
For quality auto service and repair, see the folks at Flat Shell on Preston Road at I-635.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting Postgame Show. Barry Probst and Jason Ewing closing it out tonight here as Little Elm falls to Lone Star Frisco, 35-6 tonight, our final score. We told you next week, prepare for Little Elm to take on Frisco Wakeland back at Memorial Stadium. Well, for Jason Ewing, I'm Barry Probst. We thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, you can listen to all the games on the archives. And hopefully Little Elm bounces back to get that first win next week. For Jason Ewing, I'm Barry Probst saying so long from Little Elm.